USF Pro Championships is fortunate to have very iconic events and facilities as part of its annual schedule, and the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course most definitely one of those. An undulating, challenging racetrack that's been part of this program for many years. Hello, race fans. My name is Rob Howden. Great to be here in what is normally a turning point event of the season as well. This July 4th race, this weekend that we have all three series here at Mid-Ohio, is really where the championships start to change. It's the stretch run through to the finale at Road America, and the results here often dictate who's going to be in the battles before the end of the season. Two big storylines here this weekend as we get set to go for 3 days of racing. The first and foremost being the weather, hot and humid. It's going to be mid-90s, approaching 100 degrees all weekend long, and there is a threat of some rain as well later in the weekend. The second thing, it's a packed schedule. You'll see what we have here today. It's back to back to back to back. We are hammering down with events all the way through the weekend, and only one race, USF Pro 2000, your third race on Sunday morning. This particular show right now is going to go for a little while. We've got 3 qualifying sessions for you, starting with USF Juniors, and then we'll circle back and cap off this particular broadcast with the first of 2 races for USF Juniors. It's going to be a crucial one, like I said. Championships often change here at Mid-Ohio, and it all starts with qualifying. If you qualify well at this racetrack, you often finish up front. It's a tough place to pass. If you qualify up front, you may finish up front. It's been a big place for a lot of these drivers to come through and go after a championship. We'll see what happens here today. 3 qualifying sessions for you folks, and then we come back with the first of 2 races for USF Juniors. After this break, cars will be on the racetrack for qualifying for USF Juniors.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
Car course for the start of the USF Pro Patriot 250 Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. My name is Rob Howden. I will be joined throughout the day by the voice of this racetrack, Mr. John Phippen. But getting things underway right now at a 2.258-mile track, 13-turn road course. It is a fantastic facility, a turning point event for certain in the schedule each and every year. Big day yesterday, a couple sessions for testing, 45 minutes each for these drivers, so they know this racetrack. They tested here as well back in April. Practice session earlier today, 30 minutes. We've had 3 sessions already in the books. Time to go qualifying here at Mid-Ohio. USF Juniors rolling onto the racetrack. 83 degrees here trackside now. We're expecting temperatures in the low 90s, 92 a forecasted high for the day. Maybe a little less throughout the weekend, so very likely the hottest day of the weekend. But the USF Juniors drivers rolling out onto the track right now. Karol Paszewicz from Olivia Racing, fastest driver in the practice this morning, a 125.112, just 0.3 off the track record set last year by João Vergara, who is very quick as well in USF 2000, having graduated up this year. Field set, 20 drivers ready to go. You see the clock timing things down. We'll say hello to those of you tuning in on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel or watching on the mobile app. Welcome to Mid-Ohio. John Phippen, thank you so much for inviting me into your office once again this year.
You are always welcome, my friend. Glad to have it. It's been 20-plus years that we've been doing this together, and it's so great to have the USF Pro Championships here. All 3 here this weekend for the first time this season. That's a real surprise to me.
Yeah, in years past, we've offered to run NOLA Motorsports Park. We've had all 3 of our series together, but just kind of the way the season started with USF Juniors beginning at our Homestead spring training event, St. Petersburg with only USF 2000 this year, Arlington for USF Pro 2000. We kind of started all in different places, but we meet again here at Mid-Ohio, and we'll meet at the end of the season at the finale at Road America in September as well.
2 great racetracks and 2 great places for this championship to be decided, but it is far from decided as we're at the halfway point. But the man with the momentum right now after sweeping the weekend at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is Paszkiewicz.
Yeah, Karol Paszkiewicz from
sorry.
It's okay.
I'll get it.
Olivia Racing, Polish driver, top carter for the last number of years, international, raced here in the U.S. as well, and in top levels of shifter kart racing, single speed karting. But his debut here this year, getting a chance to run with Olivia Racing, a single car effort. One of the things that makes it so impressive as well. This team, if you followed USF Juniors, was Inter MS for the last couple of years. They had a very strong season in USF Juniors 2 years ago. Not quite so good last year. Rebranded in the offseason to Olivia Racing. Only the single car this year with Karol Paszkiewicz, but he has stepped things up. In the opening race at Homestead, which, as I said before, was part of our annual spring training event, 3 straight second-place finishes, so close to the wins each one of those races, but he kept focused, didn't lose, and didn't make any mistakes on that weekend when he probably could have, trying to force the issue to get a race win. A horrible weekend at Carolina Motorsports Park in April. Qualified on the outside of the front row, but I don't think he got through turn 1 even one time up front. So not a good weekend there, but again, as you said, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, middle of May, Victoria Day weekend, came back and scored 3 big victories to move himself into the point lead over Ivan Machado Perez, who is not here this weekend. Lots to unpack of drivers who aren't here. Ivan Machado Perez, issues with a sponsor and the budget here, so he's not here this weekend. Not sure whether we'll see him again this year. Same goes for Vilo Attila, the Finnish driver who has 3 podiums on the year, would have been 7th coming into the weekend for D-Force Racing. John, he's not here as well. Just another subtle reminder, maybe not so subtle, of the realities of motorsports. It costs money to be part of this program, and if you have some incidents here and there, some drivers are just pushing the edge, hoping to get sponsors middle way through the season. Yeah, and one of the things that a lot of people may not realize is that crash damage usually is the responsibility of the driver. So, if a driver puts it off track and, does some damage, that's part of their bill. And, obviously these teams have got lots of resources to keep the drivers on the road, but it's all about money. And if you don't have the funding, unfortunately, your season can come a crappers in the middle of the season. And unfortunately, that's happened to a couple drivers. Hopefully, they can get something together before the end of the season, or bank some money together for another run at it next year. Yeah, a lot of times it's pressing the reset button, regrouping for the following season. These drivers have the talent. We know that Machado Perez, who's been on the podium, race winner at Carolina Motorsports Park, Skip Barber Formula Car Series champion last year to win the scholarship to come up into USF Juniors. For him, it was kind of maybe his last-ditch effort at it. He's 23 years old, 22 years of age, but he still wants to keep digging, and he's got some speed, as we know. Vilo Attila, very disappointing, a very quick young Finnish driver. We were hoping to see him in the second year of the program really step things up. Very quick on the podium in 2 of the 3 races at Homestead. Podium as well in the opening weekend at Carolina Motorsports Park, but hate to see him out of the program now. Hopefully we'll see him back one day forward. Couple laps in here, a couple minutes in. So it's a 30-minute window, but it's 20 minutes of green flag running. So far, we're clean and green. Max Cuthbert, the driver from England, is up top for Jay Howard Driver Development, powered by Ed Carpenter Racing. He was very good throughout the practice session as well. Cuthbert now down into 3rd spot as Dean Hugendorn has worked his way to the top. Give us an opportunity to chat a little bit about Hugendorn running for VRD Racing. His second weekend here in USF Juniors. He made his debut at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park and turned 14 a couple of days before that weekend, as did Edward Kennedy. We'll talk about his VRD teammate as well. But for Dean Hugendorn, here's a driver who really has been at the very top of international karting in the junior and now senior ranks as well. He still does a bunch of karting as well. But the success he had in karting drew the focus from Williams F1. He is a Williams F1 junior driver, and the opportunity for him now to run over here before likely starting an F4 program next year. You have to be 15, John, to run in F4, as you know, in Europe and here in the U.S. as well. At 14, you can run USF Juniors, so a better opportunity for him to come over here and get some seat time before he goes back overseas. And we're increasingly seeing these top-level sim racers, making the move into, I guess, IRL racing, for want of a better term, having nothing to do with Indianapolis Raceway Park. But never mind. The sim racers, making that transition and saying, it really helps. So Well, you can make the transition first and foremost. If you haven't come out of karting, you started sim racing, you can transition out of that. I think it's a different feel getting into a real car. Normally, the traditional pace is obviously coming through karting, taking the step up from karting into one of the lower level junior Formula Car series like USF Juniors. So, indeed, we're seeing many drivers do that. But the sim, we can't talk enough about sim racing. Let's be real. iRacing and the simulator is where these kids are when they can't be on the racetrack. We talked about how to go racing. A test day is worth, $10,000, $15,000 just to have one test day in a car. If it's a 2-day test, you're looking at $25,000 kind of thing. You can sit on your sim all night long, and a lot of those drivers do that. It's the cheapest seat time you can possibly get. You have to transition it back to real life racing when you jump in behind the wheel of the car. Tracks aren't always exactly the same. iRacing does a tremendous job, but yeah, sim training is one of the biggest things now for these kids.
Yeah, you ask these drivers what they do when they're not in the race car. They're either on the sim or in the gym.
That's very true.
That's basically what they do.
So let's have a look right now. We talked about the drivers and the points. Karel Pashevich, Ivan Machado Perez, and third is Olivier Marac. On the racetrack right now, Max Cuthbert's gone back on top of the 125.512. So back on top for Cuthbert here. Victor Couto for Zanello Racing has worked his way up into second now. Couto's had some up and down races so far this year, but man, a couple of podiums at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park has moved him further up the order. His teammate Leonardo Saravalli now goes to the top, and as on cue, they just start swapping the time here midway through. Before we jump into more times, the question is, will we now see drivers come into pit? With a 20-minute time window, going out, of course, on sticker Continental tires, do they come back in and put a new set of tires on midway through the run? I would say that would happen momentarily. So if someone's going to come in, we're going to see it here in the next couple of minutes. Casper Nissen now goes to the top of the charts with a 125.384. Another one of the J. Howard driver development powered by Ed Carpenter Racing Machines. Casper Nissen, the Danish driver, currently sitting 8th place in points. He's had a really strong run of a lot of top 10 finishes. Looking for that breakout run to score a podium or a race win. He's on top. Now Karel Pashevich moves him down in order. 125.148 for Pashevich. So the driver who was the quickest in practice with a 125.112 does a 125.148. So 0.3 off the track record, which is a 124.864 set last year by Joao Vergara. Still a long way to go in the session. A lot of fuel to burn off. And these cars are going to get lighter. Midway through, Pashevich leads the way. Nissen second. Edward Kennedy, the VRD Racing driver, he just turned 14, as did Hugendorn, just before the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park event. Kennedy has a lot of Canadian champion in karting, did a lot of racing overseas as well, karting overseas. He now moves his way up into second spot, Kennedy does, so he's into P2. Nissen in third. Saravalli fourth. Hugendorn now fifth. Brendan Cooley in sixth spot. Cooley in the April Mid-Ohio test, I think he led 5 of the 6 sessions. So he is 6th right now. Max Cuthbert in 7th. Max Mokaram, winner of 2 of the first races of the season at Homestead, in 8th. Bex Cranston 9th and Victor Couto 10th. Lots of action here, John, midway through this run.
And Pashevich finally gets into the 24s, a 124.9537, just a 10th of a second off the lap record. And we've still got 9.5 minutes to go.
One driver into pit lane, the number 20 of Pipi Chaparro. So a driver in for the change. The driver out of Bogota, Colombia. The D-Force Racing crew going to work. They'll put fresh tires on the car of Chaparro. He's currently sitting in the 15th position. Pashevich, 124.953. Track record an 8.64, so he is very close. Less than a 10th off the track record with still 9 minutes remaining and lots of fuel to burn. Good possibility we'll see a new track record for USF Juniors here this weekend. Kennedy second, Nissen third, Saravalli fourth. Great shot of the drivers working their way to turn 4 through turn number 5. That shot does not give you at all the look of the elevation change. We are climbing back at a 4, up over 5, which is a crest that sends you back down the hill into turn number 6. One of my favorite complexes of corners in all of American motorsports. I love driving this racetrack.
Indeed.
Good shot there, coming back down the hill to turn number 5. It is a passing opportunity if a driver has a little bit of an issue coming down into 6. You really almost have to set it up over in 4 to get over-under to crisscross back. Through here, 6, 7, 8, turn 9, the crest over the hill. You'll see lots of drivers drop wheels there. Very tough corners. The car gets super light as you dive and drop into Thunder Valley. No more motion up top. Pashevich does not go quicker on the next lap. And we're not seeing anybody else in pit lane. I think the D-Force crew may be waiting for one more driver. They may have another one of their guys coming into pit lane here. Jack Haydu is making his debut here this weekend. Let's give a shout out to Jack in the number 18 machine, driver out of Chagrin Falls, Ohio. So a local track here for Jack. F1600, F2000 competition on his resume. He's making his debut here with D-Force Racing. Good to have him part of the family here in USF. Still 7.5 minutes remaining. Remember, folks, this broadcast you're watching right now is going to roll all the way through. We're going to keep it running all the way through to the USF Juniors race at 12:45. So a long broadcast here on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel, as we've got qualifying coming right back here at 11:20 for USF 2000, 12:10 Eastern Time for USF Pro 2000. Pashevich, Kennedy, Hugendorn, Nissen, and Cuthbert, your top five. Hugendorn goes up to P3. Max Mokaram off speed here, coming out of the final corner of the racetrack. Will we see a fast time? We still got 6.5 minutes remaining. Looking for that track record out of Kara Pashevich. He's 2/10 up on Edward Kennedy, the only driver to break the 125 mark. Pashevich in the Olivia Racing number 25. If you're an aspiring racer at home looking to jump into this program, I've said this before, there's 2 more cars sitting there at Olivia. May need drivers. I'm surprised they don't have more drivers in that team right now, considering the pace that Pashevich has shown out of the Olivia machine. I wonder whether or not he was maybe trying to slow down a bit in that last lap, John, to kind of gap himself a bit. He was kind of closing up on a couple other drivers in front of him. Maybe he wanted to get that gap a little bit so he's not held up here in the last couple laps.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. Oliver Merak did the same thing coming down the front straightaway, swapped positions with his teammate to do, letting him get the break the air, perhaps taking the advantage of a little bit of a draft. As with any downforce race car, obviously, they don't want to get too close, obviously, because that takes all the air off the front wing. But on these long straightaways here on the front straight, the run up to the keyhole, and obviously the back straightaway with the kink. All the way down to turn number 4 are opportunities to tuck in behind another driver and take advantage of that draft, but then pop out and get some air on your front wing as you get ready for that big braking zone at the end of the straightaway.
1 bonus point up for grabs for pole, as well as the $500 Continental Tire Pole Award. As well, 1 qualifying session. So the fastest lap sets the grid for race number 1. Your second fastest lap here in this session provisionally sets the grid for race number 2. If you go quicker than that lap in the race, you have a faster race lap than your second fastest qualifying lap, you can swap that out. And that oftentimes changes the order as well. Casper Nissen jumping up to 3rd, John. Sorry about that. P3 for Nissen in the number 6, the Jay Howard car, up into P3 now with a 125.300, 3.5 tenths back.
These drivers in USF Juniors and the USF 2000 drivers have a doubleheader this weekend. The USF Pro drivers have a tripleheader this weekend.
Yeah, the Pro drivers will finally kind of swap past or get to the halfway point of the season. Lots of racing for the Pro drivers here. Again, for the drivers here in USF Juniors. Right from here, they'll race tomorrow morning. They race this afternoon and tomorrow morning straight to Lime Rock for a Tuesday afternoon test for a Friday-Saturday race alongside the NASCAR Truck Series at Lime Rock Park. So looking forward to that in a big way. But back-to-back races for the juniors drivers. From there, they look forward to the finale at the end of the season at Road America in September.
Oliver Merak sets his best time of the session, but he's back in 12th right now in that number 23 car.
Elias Vignola, big lap out of the D-Force driver, and the number 19 goes to P5. Excellent job for Vignola, currently 19th in points, lays a lap down here. Let's see if that sparks some speed, folks, because the cars are starting to get light. This is the last 4 minutes of this qualifying session for USF Juniors. Pashevich, Kennedy, Nissen, Hugendorn, and Vignola. The top 5 drivers, as you see them stream out at turn number 1, down here into the keyhole. Downhill, right hand, off camber. Tough part of this racetrack, but crucial. You got to get on power early there. As they always say, you don't make a straightaway longer by going deeper into the braking zone. You do it by getting on the throttle earlier. And so, John, as you're rotating through that corner, the car's going to rotate itself as you're coming down the hill. It's getting back on power and then making sure you hit the exit and don't drop a wheel on the other side of the rumble strip on the outside.
Yeah, the keyhole is the most important turn on the racetrack because it leads onto the longest straightaway. So obviously, if you get that right, that's going to pay big dividends down at the big end.
Pashevich turning his fastest lap back on lap number 6, has not been able to get any deeper than that. 24.935 or 5.3 rather. He is only a tenth off the track record. So right now, the record of 24.864 for Joao Vergara is still standing with just under 3 minutes remaining. Vignola jumps up to P5. Marac, you talked about him being outside the top 12. He's now up into 9th. So Olivier Marac, who's third place in points coming in with 5 podiums on the year so far. The young driver from Ottawa, Ontario, works his way into 9th now. Here comes Bex Cranston up into 6th and Casper Nissen into 2nd. On cue. Time to go to work here in the last minute, 2.5 minutes. Casper Nissen up into 2nd, 125.031. Still only one driver breaking past the 125 mark. That is Karel Pashevich for Olivia Racing. Nissen 2nd, Kennedy 3rd, Hugendorn 4th, Vignola 5th, Cranston 6th, Cooley 7th, Cuthbert, who was P1 for a time, 8th. Saravalli was on top as well. He's 9th, and Marac is back to 10th.
Interesting, Marac was 4th quickest this morning at an identical lap time, so everybody in front of him has gone quicker.
And he'll have to find that pace here. He's going to get a couple more laps. We're like 1:45 to go. Remember, lap times around 1:24, 1:25, so they're going to get a couple more circuits in here. This is really when it's on the driver. You know, the teams do their best. They get the setup right. They get the tire pressure hit. They want that tire pressure to hit right when the tire kind of gets where it needs to be in terms of a fuel load as well. The driver's got to get the job done. Olivier Marac up into the 4th position now, 125.294, just over 0.3 back of Pashevich, who has not gone any quicker. And it'd be wild to me if Pashevich on lap 6 would hit the wall like that, a 124.95. Last time by 125 flat. So still the pace that would keep him P1.
Sure.
And a good second fastest lap. Let's put it that way. Remember, the second fastest lap, very crucial. But I'm surprised he's not been able to find that extra tenth or two here at the very end with the car getting lighter and lighter. Bex Cranston up into 6th. Cuthbert up into 8th. Mokaram up into 10th. So a number of drivers turning their fastest laps. Everybody coming across the line right now is going to get one more. Good stuff here in USF Juniors. Karel Pashevich trying to get yet another pole position. Swept the action at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park up in Canada back in mid-May. Again, we talk a lot about momentum and confidence with these young drivers in this USF program, and he's got it right now. He's got the confidence in himself, in the team. They believe in him as well. The feedback he gives them, they're believing it now. Once you have that connection, everybody's believing each other, and you're all part of a team, man, it's a powerful thing. A one-car effort, so they're literally only getting the data from him personally, from his car. It's not like they can overlay with a teammate. He is by himself at Olivia Racing, and, man, they are looking to try to win a championship here.
Checkered flag's out. We can see the checkered flag flying back at the alternate start line, just past the bridge, the walkover bridge in Thunder Valley.
So there you have it. This is the final lap for those drivers who are going to come work their way into pit lane. Who is it? Cranston still on the track. I know that. Pipo Chaparro jumps up into 8th. Good job for Chaparro. They pitted him halfway through. So Chaparro on new rubber for D-Force goes into the 8th position. Solid for him. Does anybody else have anything on the track? Brendan Cooley goes his quickest lap time, but he's P9. Cooley was expecting for more of that, having been so quick at the April test here at Mid-Ohio. He's P9. With more drivers still to come. Cole Medeiros in 13th, Grant Mitchell 15th. Their fastest laps are last. Waiting for the final drivers to come through. 124.953. Here's Cranston. He went quicker. Cranston went to 6th. Looking for Pashevich. He's in here as well, folks. He is the pole sitter, but the track record for Joao Vergara is going to hold. Karel Pashevich from Olivia Racing goes P1. He'll start the race that happens this afternoon at 12:45. From the pole position alongside Casper Nissen. So the Polish driver on the inside, the Danish driver on the outside, and a couple of Canadians on row number 2. Edward Kennedy for VRD Racing was 3rd, back by just 0.2 of a second. Olivier Marac, he was up and down throughout that session, no doubt about that. He ends up in the 4th position. Dean Hugendorn, the driver from the Netherlands, P5 alongside Bex Cranston. Elias Vignola and Pipo Chaparro making an all D-Force Racing row number 4. Great job for those drivers. And Brendan Cooley and Max Cuthbert. John, going to cap off your top 10. 1.3 seconds separate the entire field all the way back to J.W. Main and Aaron Narola at the tail of the field, but only 1.395 separating first and 20th in USF juniors. Pashevich and Nissan will be the drivers on the front row. We know what it's like going through what is essentially turns number 4 or 5 the first time by. We actually start here, I think, on the front straightaway. I'll have to confirm that, whether we're going to start on the back. I think we'll start on the front straightaway as we normally do. IndyCar starts on the back. But that first run down into turn 4 and 5, it is going to be wild because the best opportunity to pass, as we know, is on the opening lap when everybody's bunched up. So while the start and turn 1 are going to be interesting, wait till turn 4.
Oh, yeah.
So great job for Karel Pashevich. Once again, folks, he qualifies on pole. Not quite the track record of 124.953. Casper Nissen, Edward Kennedy, Olivier Marac, and Dean Hugendorf cap off your Fast Five. Don't go anywhere if you're watching the broadcast here, folks, because we will be back. It is an 11:20 scheduled start time. Still about a half an hour from now. USF 2000 will be on track to qualify. Great session for USF juniors. Green to Checker, myself, and John will be back. Don't go anywhere on the live stream.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
When racers come to run with the USF Pro Championships, they're trying to become professional drivers, as we know, and they're trying to get exposure for what they've done, right? Not only do we teach them in terms of the media side, but they're really hoping for exposure through what we do. All of our races, of course, live on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel. We have a downloadable app as well that fans can watch all of the races, the documentary, The Climb that we put out, all the live timing, all on the app. So the exposure is there that they're able to leverage. If they have a sponsor or a prospective partner, an investor who's not here trackside, they're able to watch all the racing throughout the year. It's all about giving these kids as much exposure as possible, and there's not another junior formula program in North America that has the kind of exposure at the level that we have here in the USF Pro Championships.
We're rubbing elbows. We're on the same race weekends as IndyCar. And so it helps for those young drivers to look up and see those guys running at the top level like I am now.
Being in the presence of the organization that is IndyCar, you're obviously not racing in the series, but you're racing with it.
We create our schedule to be as much as possible on IndyCar weekends. The IndyCar series is always looking for young talent. They've moved a lot of our kids into the upper levels, and we need to race in front of them.
The IndyCar team owners do pay attention to what's going on the ladder, and that's important for the drivers. But it's a good way to get and learn exactly what goes into a race weekend.
They really made sure to show the importance of social media and posting, and to get well at talking in front of crowds and talking in front of big places.
It's extremely international now, which hasn't always been the case. You're racing against guys that will be future IndyCar race winners, race champions, and so it's a very unique opportunity.
The reason to come and check out the USF Pro Championships is simply because we teach everything you need to work your way to the top. Again, it's not just about racing, it's about everything that you have to learn to be a race car driver, but also the development we have from car to car, level to level, gives the driver a little bit more every year. It's a really graduated step for up the sport, as opposed to diving into something super fast. This teaches you from a really good place coming out of karting into one of the school series like the Skip Barber Racing School, and then into our USF Juniors program. It's such a planned effort. Everything is set correctly so that on the way up you learn incrementally what you need to get to IndyCar.
On our level, our job is to prepare them mentally, emotionally, media conscious, all that stuff. We have training seminars. We have the race directors who will, especially on the juniors level, will work with the kids and try and explain to them what's going on the racetrack, what they did right, what they did wrong. This is a learning series. They need to learn from their mistakes so that when we deliver them to IndyCar, they're the real deal. They're the finished product.
It's really important as they move up the USF Pro Championships ladder to continue to build on their brand as they get to IndyCar. It's a good way for the drivers to learn what they're going to have to deal with as they get to the big leagues.
It gives them a great training ground from the bottom to the top, how to communicate with your team, how to act, how to be as a person, all the things that are needed to become a professional driver.
You really can work hand in hand with your mechanics to tell them exactly what you need. I've learned a lot in this series of what it takes to be a driver and relay that to the mechanics as far as driving, how the car feels, and I think this series just does a great job with putting the drivers with the right teams and the crew to make that happen.
USF Pro Championships, it does a really good job of educating us on what tracks we're going to be running when we get to the professional leagues. Same thing in Formula One. You run the certain tracks that you're going to race in Formula One, and they do a really good job with that here. There's other series that could lead you on the path to IndyCar, but they don't race on the same tracks as IndyCar does. So USF Pro Championships gives you a little bit of a leg up as a young driver to already know the tracks, so that when you become a rookie in IndyCar, you have a little bit more of an even, playing field with the other pros that you're racing against.
One of the key factors in the USF Pro Championship that we always focus on is the level of safety. Back in 2022, we introduced the Halo to the car, which has increased the level of safety dramatically. And again, we're one of the only series that runs that in the junior level. And that's the key for us, is to make sure we take care of our drivers. Number one, on the racetrack. Number two, with the Halo. But number three, of course, with the AMR IndyCar safety team as well. Just like IndyCar has a dedicated crew of people that when there's an incident, they're the ones that arrive on scene the first time. They're with us as well. They know our race cars, they know our drivers, so when they get there, in the event there is an incident, we make sure they're completely taken care of.
So for the safety in our series, we follow IndyCar pretty much on all the safety standards as far as drivers' helmets, harness devices, suit requirements. We follow the IndyCar, and the reason for that, because we want to be the best out there. We want to be the safest. We want a mum and a dad to know their son, their daughter is in the car and they're absolutely the safest they can be.
They always think of safety first, and now every car has Halo, so if there's any flying debris or if you flip, you're gonna 100% that you're gonna be safe. I had a big crash, Freedom 100, 2019 back in Indy Next, and before my car even stopped rolling, I already had an AMR safety guy in the car saying, "Hey, are you okay?"
Well, having started out as a racing dad, I know full well the concerns of a parent to make sure that we protect their kid. And we are very safety conscious in the USF Pro Championships.
The USF Pro Championships is really the development level for drivers coming out of karting to move their way to the NTT IndyCar Series. The whole concept is we teach them everything they need to know all the way up the ranks.
USF Pro Championships, it's North American Open Wheel Racing's version of college sports. Got 3 tiers to it, which is pretty important. This whole thing is geared to go upwards and really define who the next stars happen to be.
There's so many drivers that come into the sport and maybe don't have the financial resources to make it all the way to the big time, right? All the way to IndyCar. The scholarship program provides a monetary award that goes to a driver winning the championship that allows them to move up to the next level. So if you win a championship, you win the money you need to go racing in the next level.
A number of drivers in IndyCar today have used the ladder system to gain experience and to gain funding via the scholarships to pay for the next level.
The USF Pro Championship helped me get to this spot in my career because of the many opportunities that it creates.
It was massive for me. The scholarships that are implemented are crucial for drivers. That was my lifeline all the way to IndyCar, and it's a big reason why I made it. it's very unique. You know, we have the opportunity to win our way to IndyCar basically, and some guys have done that.
The USF Pro Championships really helped me to get where I am today. You get so much racing on IndyCar tracks. You get ovals too, which for a European guy, that's something that's very useful.
This series is a smooth way of adding new developments into my career and new aspects of it. Like it's a smooth way of learning how to grow as a driver.
It has a great reputation. The competition level is amazing. It just gives drivers a great opportunity to advance.
The field here is really, really intense. I mean, people are down to the hundreds of thousands a second.
It's a great development series, and I think it's somewhere that you should be if you want to be going to IndyCar.
With 3 levels in the USF Pro Championships, we have USF Juniors, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000. One of the key components of the technical side of our sport is the fact that all 3 levels have the same basic chassis in itself. The USF Juniors, USF 2000, very similar race cars with the same engine as well. Larger engine, more horsepower for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. But what we always say is that we want our drivers to get a little bit more of everything as they work their way up the ranks.
We hooked up with Italian race car designer Tatis Race Cars. They are the biggest in the world in junior formula cars, and they've built us an incredible car to our specs. We started with what is a typical Formula 4 chassis, but we strengthened it with a double bulkhead to protect drivers' feet, side intrusion panels. The core of the series is the Tatis race car. The tub is the same on all 3 levels, and a lot of the pieces transfer over from one level to another. So you increase the horsepower on every level, lap times get quicker on every level, but it's all basically the same cockpit and the same controls, same data system, and the drivers can learn as they gradually increase horsepower and go faster.
So the juniors and the US 2000 are basically the same car, same engine, same gearbox. Where it comes into is the engine is detuned. It has a different restrictor on, which is different horsepower. It has different wheels, different dampers, different uprights, different brakes. From there to the pro level, it's different body work, it's different wings on the car, it's a totally different engine. The first 2 levels, they integrate with each other very good. Going to the next one, the same. Still the same, tub, suspension, uprights are the same on a pro car, and brakes as a 2000. It just gets into being a little bit more. It's got a bigger gearbox on it, bigger wheels, bigger tires, more horsepower.
So every step we have specifically designed to make sure you're ready to go that next year when you move up a level. Well, welcome back to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Rob Howard alongside John Fippen here in the tower as we get set to roll once again with the next group here. All three of the USF Pro Championships categories on the docket here this weekend. USF Juniors, USF 2000, and USF Pro 2000. Junior drivers locking down their qualifying session already. Those of you still on the stream with us, welcome back. The temperature continues to rise. It was 78, 83, 87 degrees now trackside here, so we're expecting a high of 92. The mercury will continue to rise throughout the day. We had a very clean and green 20-minute run for the USF Juniors. We had a 30-minute window. That 20-minute run from green to checker meant that we had a 30-minute break before we're back on track here again. We'll probably do the same thing as we have USF Pro 2000 qualifying following USF Juniors, rather USF 2000 have taken to the track. John, all told, the junior drivers playing well together, 20 minutes of running.
Yep.
Like to see it happen.
Love to see the green to green, man. You know, it's, green flag laps mean everybody's paying attention and keeping it on the black part.
So let's just set the stage here right now. Yesterday, or rather earlier in the season, we saw driver Sebastian Garzon be the driver who really has stepped things up. St. Petersburg, Indianapolis, IRP, and Road America. He has been on the podium for a majority of those events in the top 5 for all. Now with a solid point lead coming into the weekend of 30 over Brad Mashburn. That's essentially almost a full race. 33 is the most you can get, but 30 for a race win. So a nice little bit of cushion for Garzon. Brad Mashburn coming off a fantastic 3-podium, 1-win run at Road America. He moves himself up into second in points. His teammate Eddie Beswick scoring his first ever USF 2000 victory with a win in the opening round at Road America. Evan Cooley and Joao Vergara right there in 4th and 5th as well. But it was Anthony Martello who was the fastest driver in the morning practice session, 121.398. It's been feast or famine for Anthony Martello. He's either winning races or getting taken out, it feels like. We'll see what he's able to do here. But again, fastest driver in the opening practice ahead of Wesley Gundler, the single-car driver for NV Motorsports. A tremendous run for Gundler. Oliver Weldon, Ryan Janetta there for VRD Racing. The VRD crew has been strong here this weekend too. So a number of different storylines, John, to watch as qualifying gets ready to roll. But the bottom line is this: you qualify well at Mid-Ohio, you normally finish well.
Want to keep an eye on our points leader, Sebastian Garzon. He was 16th in this morning session. In fact, went behind the wall before that session was over. So I don't know if there's a gremlin that they're chasing or if they just wanted to make a setup change back in the garage. But Garzon did not get the performance he was looking for in practice. We'll see if he can make that happen here when it counts in qualifying.
Not surprisingly, I was not able to get back to the paddock to find out because we went back-to-back with all the practice sessions. For me, potentially, in that opening session, you're running the carryover tires. So maybe not a lot of tire left. Got out, kind of extracted the most he could out of those tires, and we'll be expecting more here with fresh rubber. Because, of course, when they come out for qualifying, they must have the Sticker Continental tires. We may see drivers pit halfway through. I was surprised, John. Only D-Force Racing taking the chance to put tires on. Now, granted, it worked for both of their drivers because they were in the top 10, I believe, 7th and 8th for Pippi Chaparro and Elias Vignola. So they were able to put 2 of their drivers into the top 10 with that pit stop. Otherwise, everyone else running the full session on one set of sticker tires. We'll see how it plays out here. But again, we're just into the session here right now. 3.5 minutes down out of a 20 minutes of green flag running. A 30-minute window to get it all in. If there is issues, we stop the clock. Jack Morhard into pit lane already for VRD Racing in the number 78. I would expect that is unscheduled for him to come in this early. But nonetheless, getting things underway. Be ready for the last 2 or 3 minutes. Essentially what we're going to see in terms of fast times. John, you're keeping an eye there. Looks like maybe the engine cover coming off for Morhart.
Yeah, the engine did not sound healthy as it came down the pit lane here. He was revving it to try to keep it running, so it wasn't happy on the pit limiter. So looks like they may be getting the engine cover off that car to have a quick look to see if they can make some adjustments for him.
So fastest drivers in practice this morning, Anthony Martello, a late run, did a 121.398 to go to P1. Gundler's lap was his final lap. Driver with some experience here at Mid-Ohio, both through testing here in USF 2000, also in his F1600 championship racing experience. Gundler very impressive with a 121.440, not that far off Martella. Oliver Weldon and Ryan Janetta, the 2 VRD racing drivers, have shown pace all through yesterday's testing and earlier today as well, 3rd and 4th respectively. Brad Mashburn, 2nd in points, coming off that great run at Road America. He's P5. Eddie Beswick, Joao Vergara, Lucas Nanji, VM Bossoff, and Thomas Nordquist capped off this morning's top 10 in that 30-minute practice session. But there's one thing about practice where you can roll out there just banging laps out, trying to get comfortable. Hopefully you get that magic lap. A little different in qualifying here, I think. The pressure's on, number one. Number two, you're on fresh tires, so you need to take care of them, bring them up to temperature correctly. And with those tires and that tire pressure and the low fuel and everything hits, you better be ready on that lap.
Exactly right.
Ryan Janetta out of the gate on lap number 2 with the quickest time, a 1:22.307. So still about a second off where they were this morning. Now, John had mentioned this in USF Juniors. Significant difference in the temperatures as well. Probably for these drivers anywhere between 8 and 10 degrees hotter, and it's going to continue to heat up here. There are clouds, primarily blue sky, but we're not getting any cloud cover. Let's put it that way. The sun is most definitely baking the heat into the asphalt here at Mid-Ohio today.
Yeah, I don't have access to track temperature readings, but I'm sure they're way up there. It's been just blistering hot here for the past several days. That heat dome that you talked about centered right over this racetrack for the past couple of days. We're going to get a little relief tomorrow and Sunday. It'll be a few degrees cooler, but it's going to be a warm weekend. And just a reminder to all of you here at the racetrack, please stay hydrated. Keep drinking, nipping on that water bottle throughout the course of the day. Don't wait till you're thirsty. It'll be too late.
Wesley Gundler in the pit lane as well, the number 46 for NV Motorsports right in front of us here in the tower. Issue as well for the number 9 coming in. That's Callahan Peter, damage to the rear wing there, so he must have backed it in somewhere to have rear wing damage on the number 9, whether or not it was that or potential part failure. But nonetheless, a couple drivers in the pit lane looking down here at the machine of Gundler as well. I think they're just going to change the tires for Gundler, so maybe likely bringing him in. He was 16th in the first couple of laps, whether maybe putting a heat cycle on the tire to have it ready for one of the races later on today and then tomorrow. 2 races for USF 2000, 2 for juniors, 3 for Pro 2000, triple header the top level of the program here this weekend.
It looks like Garson's on the pace. He's up in 4th position right now at a 22.1, and that's about the same pace he turned in practice this morning, so looks like he's okay.
A lot of drivers going green on the timing charts here right now as we're just getting things rolling. Good shot there of the dip coming out of turn number 9. More drivers in the pit lane. Weldon in here as well. The 3 of Vergara, so VRD Racing bringing their drivers in as well. They currently sit, Vergara is 2nd. Where is Weldon here right now? Weldon, got to go further down the order to find him. There he is right there, 8th. Thank you, John. That's also Janetta coming in. Ryan Janetta, he's in 5th. So the top 3 drivers for VRD in the top 8 right now. They get some laps in. They come into pit lane. Liam Loiacono on top for Jay Howard Driver Development, powered by ECR. 121.927. Shot of the coming out of the keyhole. Long straightaway with a bit of a kink down into turn number 4. Downhill braking zone. It's going to extend that braking into the very tough turn number 4. Trying to roll all that speed, climbing back up the hill through 4. Back up the hill to turn 5. You crest the hill of 5 and you drop down a couple of stories to turn number 6. Bottom of the hill. Very inviting to a pass on the inside, but you see the driver starting to turn in quite early. Out of turn number 6 through 7 and 8. A little left-right corner. Here's a shot of the drivers coming up out of Thunder Valley. Turns 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we got a lot of drivers coming into pit lane. Here come the Pabst cars as well, folks. You can see a shot there. A number of drivers coming in. That's one of the Jay Howard cars in here as well. That'll be the number 6 of Liam Loiacono, currently sitting in the 2nd spot. Anthony Martella, who was the quickest in the morning practice session with a 121.3, 121.7 now. He goes to P1 for Exclusive Autosport. Here comes Thomas Nordquist as well. Lots of action here on pit lane.
By the way, Jack Morhart did come back out on track, and he has turned a competitive time, a 25.1. He's 19th right at the moment, but he is out there circulating.
Yeah, good to see him back on the racetrack. A graduate of the Skip Barber Formula Car Series, joining the series this year with VRD Racing. Martella, Loiacono, Garzon, Vergara, and Majman, your current top 5. Who's going to come away with the pole position? Like USF Juniors, John, you need 2 good laps here because the fastest lap's going to set the grid for race 1. Your second fastest lap potentially setting the grid for race number 2. It is your provisional race 2 start, but if you go better with your fast lap in race 1, faster than your second fastest lap in qualifying, you can use that time instead. We see, depending on track conditions, sometimes we'll see that happen.
Yep.
Not likely here today with IndyCar coming out, it being so hot. likely the track's to be pretty greasy for the USF 2000 race. If it does grip up and they find it's more grip, which is not very likely considering the temperature, they may be able to go faster, but lots to watch for. Here come the USF 2000 drivers from Exclusive Autosport as well. Evan Cooley and Anthony Martella into pit lane. Also, the number 7 of Naim Saleh. He'll come into pit lane as well, the Brazilian. So a number of drivers coming in to make stops. The question was, how many drivers would come to pits and put new fresh tires on? Well, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Significantly more than we saw in USF Juniors, where only 2 drivers took on fresh rubber. Garzone, yeah. John.
Top of the order, yeah. A 121.7428. Not quite as quick as the fastest time we saw this morning.
Also into pit lane, Connor Aspley, who has made a full-time move up to USF 2000. Ran in USF Juniors last year, started the season in USF Juniors this year, and actually kind of dabbled back and forth. Ran USF 2000 at St. Petersburg as well, but he is elected after Road America. It's some good pace there to just move straight forward to USF 2000. Looking forward to running here this weekend. Of course, Portland, Markham, and the finale at Road America. Watching him to put down some good laps. He was 8th there before coming into pit lane. So Connor Aspley in the number 91 from O'Fallon, Missouri. Just a half a second back of Sebastian Garzone up top. Number of drivers in the pit lane. The change is getting done. Looks like they're still working on the car of Callahan Peter, and they're going to have to replace the rear wing. I don't know what kind of damage is there because they're still working on the back of it. You wonder whether or not the actual mount potentially broke, if there was contact or not. Was it a mechanical, or was it an actual part failure, or did he get back into the wall somewhere? I think he did have an incident potentially in the practice earlier today, but unsure how that damage happened to the car. That's going to be tough for him because he's at the tail of the field now. Only got 3 laps in. So fresh rubber on. Take a couple laps to get these things where they need to be.
Wesley Gundler's also way down the order in 17th, and he was second quick this morning.
Yeah, 122.8, needed a 121.4, 1.4 off what he had done. They put new rubber on that machine, so let's give him time as well. He may be one of the first drivers with the fresh rubber. Yeah, so he just did a 122.8, potentially his 5th. Through turn number 4 and 5 here for NV Motorsports. And you'll see that NV logo on a number of cars here this weekend. Matteo Nannini, who is the co-owner of the NV Motorsports team, got the logo on the car for Indy Next as he races with Cape Motorsports. You'll see it on the car of Mick Schumacher as well. NV Composites being a big player, making the move into both the ladder system and IndyCar here.
New leader Ryan Ginetta goes to the top at 21.6. We're still not as quick as we saw this morning, about 0.3 off, but Ginetta with the quickest time.
Another driver looking for a breakout weekend here. Ryan Ginetta rolls in here, 12th place in points, a couple of 7th place finishes. In fact, he's finished 7th 4 times on the season so far, so looking for that breakthrough into the top 5. He had that kind of pace at Road America. This will be a good place for him. He's been here before. Actually, a really rough weekend last year where he literally got driven over by a couple of drivers here at the start. But for him, with the pace here, coming on some momentum, showing what he needs to have, I think a breakout here for Ginetta. If he gets top 5, gets on the podium, be huge for that young man from Redondo Beach, California.
Top 4 separated by 1/10 of a second. So, I mean, it is really close at the front. Ginetta, Garzone, Loiacono, and Martella separated by just over 1/10 of a second.
And 6 minutes means 6 minutes of fuel burning off as well. The car's going to get lighter and lighter throughout this session. Unlike in Europe, a lot of the times where the tire is built to have a peak early, lap 1, maybe even lap 1, lap 2, you got to get out there and really, extract the most out of the tire in the opening couple laps. These Continental tires super stable and super consistent throughout the session. So really, it comes to the driver nailing that lap as the car gets lighter and lighter. The tire pressure, as we know, not set to be good out of the gate for the first 5 laps. That tire pressure, when they come in and get new tires, you want it to go right at the very end when the car's as light as possible. Ryan Ginetta, 121.654, about 0.3 off of the time set by Martella in the practice this morning, but again, 10 degrees hotter. Garzone second, Liam Loiacono up to third. Make Loiacono second. He finds some more speed there. How about 12 thousandths off 1:21.667 to a 1:21.654. So Janetta and Loiacono, P1 and P2 separated by just 12 thousandths of a second. It's less than a tenth to Garzón back in the 8th spot. Martella 9th, Joao Vergara, Martella 4th, Vergara at 5th, Weldon 6th, Majman 7th, and Beswick 8th. So the Pabst cars are actually 7th, 8th, and 9th with Majman, Beswick, and Nanji. Connor Aspley still holding on to 10th for Exclusive Autosport. 4.5 minutes to go.
6 of the top 8 improved on that last lap with about 4.5 minutes to go.
Lots of green on the screen for John.
You betcha.
Just so you know, folks, we're rolling our way through. We are now close to being 5 down with 3 to go, or 2 to go, because we've got USF Pro 2000 qualifying set at 12:10. We had a big break there, about a half an hour, because we weren't quite sure we were going to get 20 minutes straight for USF Juniors. So we're very likely, if we do the same thing here, going to have another half-hour break on the stream here. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, we'll be back again at 12:10 Eastern for USF Pro 2000 qualifying. From there, right into our race for USF Juniors, 12:45. I'll start driver introduction at 12:50. Of course, we'll go green flag racing shortly after that. So indeed, our first of what will be 7 races on the weekend, 2 for USF Juniors, 2 for USF 2000, and a triple header for Pro 2000. 2 of those races coming in today. Here comes Joao Vergara to the top of the charts, 1:21.631. Vergara goes to P1 for VRD Racing.
Janetta only 200ths of a second behind him. Loiacono 300ths behind. And now Garzón goes to the top, a 1:21.5631. So the points leader takes over the top spot, again, by the very slimmest of margin. 10th of a second still separating the top 4.
It's unbelievable. In fact, the top 17 drivers separated by just a second. Wesley Gundler, who was second in practice today, is back in 17th right now. They maybe it may have changed the car, whatever it was. It doesn't appear like it was ideal for Gundler. A 1:22.4. He is a full second off the fastest time that he set earlier today. So they've missed something there for Gundler as he's back in 17th. He's going to have to find some more pace here. He goes to 12th. So 1:21.2. Good recovery there. As Janetta back to the top. All right, here we go. 2.5 minutes remaining. This qualifying run's going to be wild. Here's the run down into turn number 4. Drivers with a lot of gap between each other. They've done a good job developing that gap. Yeah, you'd love to have a little toe on the last lap, but you don't want to get the aero wash being too close in some of the corners like the carousel, some of the faster corners, the keyhole. You want to have the air on that front wing to keep those front tires planted. Janetta on top of the 1:21.355. 10th and a half quicker than Martella. Great lap there out of Janetta. Does the Californian have his first career pole potentially lining up with 2 minutes to go.
The top 16, with 2 exceptions, have all turned their best laps of the session. So we are getting serious here in the final 2 minutes.
Janetta, Martella, Vergara, Weldon, Garzón, your top 5. That is 3 different teams with D-Force, Exclusive, and VRD. VRD now 1, 3, 4. Very strong, very similar to what they were yesterday with 3 drivers in the top 5 in both those open test sessions. But still a minute and a half to go, which means a couple more laps here. Last lap heroics oftentimes step things up here at Mid-Ohio, and we cannot overemphasize how crucial qualifying is at this racetrack. If you finish up front, you're going to probably start up front, you're going to finish up front. This track is just so hard to overtake, John. There are passing opportunities, 2, 4, you know it. Carousel 2 if somebody opens up. But man, if you're up front in that lead gap, the first couple laps you're probably going to pull away.
Especially as closely matched as this field is. Like we said, the top 14 within a second of each other. You really need to have a big speed advantage to make an easy pass on this racetrack.
Liam Loiacono jumps up to second, Eddie Beswick up to third, so there is some action within the top 5, but it's not regarding Ryan Janetta, still P1. A 1:21.355. Janetta in the 44, the fastest driver on the racetrack now as he negotiates turn number 5. The field rolling its way through here. 28 seconds still to go, so we're close to hitting the checker flag at the alternate timeline as they come out of Thunder Valley. They'll see the checkered flag there on driver's left. Janetta, Loiacono, Beswick. Who else has moved up? Lucas Nanji turns his fastest lap. He'll go to 9th. But expect some action here in the final couple laps. These cars, as light as they've been throughout the entire 20-minute run. Martella goes back to second. Anthony Martella to P2. You see, have open racetrack. Who's in front of him? He's got Vergara right in front of him. That's a good driver to chase. Vergara currently sits 5th. Martella trying to leverage him. Checker flag being thrown at the alternate timeline, so the session is done. Lots of action here on the final lap. 121.355. It will not be a track record. That's still held by Michael D'Orlando. 120.1. A different time, a different car.
Janetta's done. He's in the pit lane.
So there you go. John just said it. Janetta has posted his last lap. 121.355. Will it be a first career pole for the Californian? Martella looked good, though. He got to within a 10th. He's going to get one more shot at it. Loiacono, Beswick, Vergara. Here comes the 6 as well of Loiacono. He does not go quicker. Martella could be the one driver out here. He and Vergara, the two drivers still on the racetrack trying to take a run at it here. As I believe they're coming out of Thunder Valley now. 121.355 still for Vergara. Here come the final couple of drivers. We'll hold our breath here to the last couple of seconds. Martella does not do it, neither does Vergara, and it'll be a first career pole position for Ryan Janetta, the Californian for VRD Racing. That's a monkey off the back of that young driver. The 44 goes P1. He'll be starting on the inside of the front row. Janetta leads the way for VRD Racing, 121.365. Anthony Martella in second. He'll be on the outside of the front row. Liam Loiacono and Eddie Beswick. So it's Jay Howard and Pabst Racing on row number 2. Joao Vergara and Sebastian Garzon, row 3. Oliver Weldon and Brad Mashman, row 4. Lucas Nanji and Wesley Gundler up to 10th on the last, or the penultimate lap. Yeah, lap 11 for him. Solid runs. Connor Aspley and Vian Bossoff both turning their fastest laps at the very end of that one. 14th and 16th, respectively. But, John, if you're going to find a track to do your first ever career pole,
this is a good one.
Mid-Ohio's a great place to do it. Janetta, 12th place in points coming in, an opportunity to potentially run up front for a couple of races. Great stuff, and congratulations to Ryan. That's great stuff for that young driver. He's been through a lot. Wrecked here last year. Yes, last year was all about him just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Drivers hitting him, getting over top of him. Drivers locked up in front of him here at Mid-Ohio. He got collected in the wreck at Road America as well. What a great way to come off of that race and go P1 here to start the first of the 2 races here this weekend on the front row. Great stuff for Ryan.
Indeed.
So Ryan Janetta and Martella 1-2, Loiacono, Beswick 3-4, Vergara and Garzon 5-6. Qualifying done for USF 2000. Indeed, another break in the action, folks. Just stay with us here. If you're on the stream, we'll keep playing some content for you. We're set to come back for USF Pro 2000 qualifying at 12:10.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
A lot of excitement, a lot of nerves, but overall, I think for a lot of them, it's a dream that's they're starting to see it come to fruition. Right, they're here, they're in St. Pete, USF Pro Championships. Something most of the drivers have been working towards for a very long time. So again, a lot of excitement.
I mean, this is the most competitive junior Formula Series in the world. So why wouldn't you want to be here?
The scholarship's the big thing. Nowhere else in the world you progress through with the prize money. It's really a game changer, and I wouldn't go anywhere else.
And a lot of us, including myself, don't have the funds to get to IndyCar, right? So having this opportunity to race for the money is amazing and just pushes you to be better and better every day.
The championship scholarship that they award is huge, and we get to go to all these IndyCar tracks with the IndyCar teams here, so you really get to be in the spotlight there and get the attention of some of the teams as well.
Winning this championship and having the scholarship to go to pro, it will be amazing, and still continue every day working in me and my team to go for it.
Starting the season up high just pushes everybody to work harder, the driver to concentrate and execute.
Drivers, start your engine!
I think this will be our year because we had difficult times in last season, but we never give up. So we know this year it will be a really good one.
If you really want to do your best, you're always going to try your best.
Green, green, green! Sebastian Garzo wins!
I don't have words for now.
Contact further back, and I think Evan Cooley
I got rear-ended.
You can't license these drive.
Yeah, I mean, you always drive with passion, but you can't let emotion take over when you're driving.
Awesome drive for Garzone as he's able
That's
to
a perfect weekend.
You know, I've always known I'm the front runner. I've always known I can win races and win championships. It's great to have P2, P3, but we need points for the championship.
I'm super happy to win this race and leading the championship after this week. So let's keep pushing to win the championship.
Right now is the time for these drivers in the USF Pro 2000 Championship to start off their 2026 season.
You have guys come over all the time from Europe, and they're not right at the top of the timesheet, you know, right away or sometimes at all.
The first impression is, wow, competition's way higher than I expected.
It's super hard. It's the best drivers from all over the world.
The competition this year, I think, is going to be really good. You know, Andres, Jay Howard, he's really good. And we have like Italians, Brazilians, Americans, everyone from all over the world. So, I mean, it's pretty sick.
Series in Europe don't do this. I think this series has purpose, no? That it's actually bringing drivers to IndyCar. That's the main purpose. It's not like you go here from Europe and be fastest on your first session. Not at all. I was 14th in my first session, so it's more about getting used to the environment and the different opportunities that this championship can give you. For me, it's, if not the greatest, one of the greatest development series in the world.
Adjusting just to the different style of racing, especially the street tracks and the ovals, like we don't have either of those back at home.
I mean, look at this weekend, right? Temporary street course that nobody's seen before. Would you ever race on something like that in Europe? There's no way. But it's part of what makes this championship special and really hard.
Lining up nicely, 21 drivers.
I'm always very proud to represent Peru. It makes me wake up every day and, you know, push even more.
For the first time in 2026, we are
Representing Brazil, it's a big step. You know, you have Castro Neves, Renan, all these big drivers that are also Brazilian. So, I know if I do a good job, I can try to make it to IndyCar and try to get Brazil back into IndyCar.
Green, green, green! Scorpione's closed up on Jeffers as well. Scorpione gets a chance to battle for the race win. Here comes Mossman. We got a driver who's gone around. Is that Jeffers? White flag flying this time by. A Scorpione has taken the lead as Jeffers has gone around. Race number 2 for USF Pro 2000, both on the weekend. There's contact there, and that is Logan Adams. Across the line, twin checkers are out. And it's a home state victory for Jack Jeffers.
Hell of a redemption, man. I love you, kid.
Yeah!
The USF Juniors is where it all starts.
Yeah, it's pretty much the main starting point to get in your journey to IndyCar. After go-karting, this is the perfect entry level for racing.
It's very high pressure, though, as well. And we need that. Drivers need to be pressured. They need to feel that there's a sense of urgency to try to find success. They'll learn everything, but they have to be able to find success.
Hi, my name is Karol Paszewicz. I'm driving in USF Juniors for Olivia Racing. So USF Pro Championship ladder is something that gives you a chance. Somebody who wins in USF Juniors, he gets a scholarship to jump up into USF 2000, and then you can finish in IndyCar.
The scholarship program is what separates this series from F4, F3, anywhere else on the globe, right? For USF Juniors coming in, a little detune from a USF 2000 car, but still top-level Catus equipment, as we know. The engine provides a lot of horsepower. Everything we have is just high quality. And the whole idea is to get them to understand what we have in terms of a race car, in terms of technology.
I mean, of course, the main goal is to win. I think for everyone always is. My name is Ivan Machado, driver of the car number 10. USF is just the trampoline for IndyCar. In an ideal world, he would try to win USF Juniors, get the scholarship into USF 2000, try to win again USF 2000 and get that scholarship that promotes you to USF Pro 2000. And from there on, if you are able to win again USF Pro 2000, you get the scholarship for Indy NXT.
A driver like Kyle Kirkwood, who is now obviously one of these superstars in IndyCar racing, wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the scholarship that he got coming out of USF 2000 all the way up. That's that carrot each one of these drivers has. When they get into juniors, they see all that money, right? Every milestone along the way to Indy next to IndyCar is going to be punctuated by that scholarship that's going to help them go to the next level. It's been 2 months since the drivers of USF Juniors had a chance to go wheel to wheel against each other. That's all the way back in February at Homestead in the opening rounds of the season.
You have to really, really work hard to step up, you know. It doesn't matter which championship it is, I just want to win. A quick driver is always a big rival. Hopefully I can come up in front of them, but we will see.
I feel like Carroll feels like he's definitely more of a rival there. I mean, if I can just make it clean with everybody else, then I can leave the hard racing for P2.
To get things underway for the first of 3 races, and we are racing. Green, green, green. Contact further back. That is Pashevitz. Max McCarron able to hold off the charge from Ivan Machado Perez over the last couple of laps. Cole Madero's coming away with the win. It's a fantastic run. Your point leader still here, racking up the points early in the season. Green, green, green. Race number 2 for USF Juniors. Again, Pashevich in the 25 has gone around. The victory is going to go to Machado Perez. He's the winner of round number 2, Ivan Machado Perez. For the final time here in Kershaw, we are green, green, green. Be sure that Pashevich was trying to go deep into that corner. Pashevich did not want to get taken out this time. Machado Perez, the Spaniard, out front though. Pashevich in the 4 spot. I believe that's Mo Karam running P5. Here's Mo Karam. He's able to get by Pashevich. Oh, big move to the inside of turn number 11. Book it. He's through. Mo Karam. Mo Karam came in as the leader, but a couple of victories for Machado Perez on the season. This could be his 3rd. Does Mo Karam send it down into turn number 11? Oh, big deep move to the bottom on the brakes. Not quite enough. And I think Ivan Machado Perez is going to come away with another one. Not surprised to see point leader Max Mo Karam back up front again. Karol Pashevich right in there as well. Ivan Machado Perez right there. I think we already know which kind of drivers are going to be in the fight by the time we get to Road America in September.
This track is so historic. It's great to be here, and it's such a privilege.
To work side by side and be right next to him, like it's truly an honor and it's something special.
It's been really cool to be interacting with all these IndyCar drivers and teams now.
I think that's one of the most attracting aspects of this series, right? Not only is there a ladder system to continue your way up and the scholarship program to help the less funded drivers, but there's the exposure and you get to be around the IndyCar teams and the IndyCar paddock. You see how the drivers handle themselves, how the IndyCar teams operate and everything. Maybe there's a little bit more added pressure that all the IndyCar guys are watching you. To work side by side and be right next to them, like it's truly an honor and it's something special.
Yeah, I think it's really similar to how I feel in F1 Academy with F1. Just sharing the paddock and the track with them at the same time is it's a great feeling. I mean, we can see all the teams, all the people, how much work goes in behind the scenes for all the drivers to be able to get on track, and even seeing like Indy Next out there as well. Just like they're also just a step away from IndyCar, so it's great to be sharing the track with them.
The IndyCar drivers come up and ask you, hey, how was the track? It's been really cool to be interacting with all these IndyCar drivers and teams now. My name is Max Garcia. I drive for Able Motorsports, and I'm the 2025 USF Pro 2000 champion. I think it's been pretty seamless, honestly. Like, they've had drivers move up into IndyCar and different types of professional motorsports, so they kind of train us for what big teams expect, and so they expect so much more from us just because they know what it takes to get to IndyCar and top levels of sports cars as well.
You make all this sacrifice in your life for this one championship to continue moving up, right?
Just having a good weekend in front of them is could be so beneficial for the future, because some of them do have junior teams as well. So there's just so many small things that they could be looking for in a good driver, and it's really important to show them.
field is set. Weldon on the inside, Martella on the outside. We are green, green, green. Down, there's contact. That's Weldon. We're going to see a full course yellow.
Kaylee Countryman is 9th.
And the opening race for USF 2000 here at IMS goes to Anthony Martella. Kaylee Countryman, great run for her as well. Split the difference, started 16th, finished 9th.
It feels great. It was great to get my first race done on here as well, because juniors don't race here, as that's what I did last year. So it's great to just be here in 2000 and kind of just get, like I said, just kind of see how it's going to play out.
This is the future here. These drivers just 2 steps away from IndyCar. Green, 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 and we're underway. Big start for Jeffers. He gets the jump. Osman pops out as expected.
He's got it.
What a beautiful overtake, but can he hold the corner? Jeffers going to try around the outside. Look at the run that Jeffers gets. Very likely be able to get him down into the braking zone. Indeed he does. Down to the bottom. Jeffers retakes the lead there. Jack Jeffers is a winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
But not everybody gets to win here at the Yard of Bricks, the racing capital of the world. And, do it in front of IndyCar 99X is awesome. So, yeah, it's truly something special and something that I'm definitely going to be soaking in for tonight.
I think it's a perfect step for drivers coming from karting, or even if they're fresh to racing altogether.
The transition's been awesome.
I'm prepared to take all the opportunities and go for it when I have the chance.
I'm Bex Cranston. I drive the number 90 exclusive Autosport IES car in USF Juniors. There's a ton of guys, you see it this year, that come in from karting and move into cars. And, the entry, obviously being in a car is quite different from a go-kart, but I think a lot of the racecraft and a lot of the skills you take from karting transitions quite nicely into USF Juniors.
In this current era of open-wheel racing, you see drivers at 14 years old already getting into the sport, and that's where the opportunity lies in USF Juniors. It's a series where drivers can make mistakes before they really make that jump to USF and Indy Pro, where there's a lot more eyes on you.
My experience from karting to here has been a long way. Cars, you have suspension, you have a lot more power, so it's difficult to adapt, but once you can be at the top. Me, my coach, and my team work all weekend. We try to make the car better. I learn every weekend, a lot of communication, help each other to make the best results possible.
It's all about what the expectations are rolling into the weekend, how the prior weekends have gone. For some of our drivers, the goal may be a top 10 or a top 5. Others were in championship contention, so setting that mentality, getting them ready to, attack off of lap 1, get up and get going and to start the race. How do we make sure we're finishing the races, not putting ourselves in risky spots that, ultimately could derail a season? So
you just have to adapt and learn as fast as you can.
I think it's a very sink or swim industry, right? You either come into USF Juniors and you drive and you do well and you succeed, or you can't adapt and you can't, hang, then it's gonna be a rough road.
We are at it. We are green, green, green. The race down into turn number 1. These are the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. The Polish driver goes to P1. He's got a driver upside down. That's Perez. Perez is upside down. Karol Pasiewicz is going to come away with a race win. We're ready to go racing here in USF Juniors. Green, green, green. Trouble for Vignola. Elias Vignola in the D-Force machine has gone off. Look at this side-by-side action. Bex Cranston to the inside, the 23 of Marak to the outside, trying to over-under through 5. Checker flag flies. It's back-to-back jacks from Karol Pasiewicz. We've seen some incredible racing treated with some great side-by-side battles. Pasiewicz back-to-back jacks. He wins 3 at Canadian Tire Motorsports.
The main thing you find difference in IndyCar is the greatest race in the world, the Indy 500.
It's definitely very different in many ways, but one of the main reasons is that they race on ovals, which is really cool that we get the opportunity to race at an oval, in a pretty short oval as well. So it's super difficult. We're racing on the same weekend as the Indy 500, which is also really cool.
It's what everyone here in Pro 2000 is working towards. And the great thing about Pro 2000 is you do get that opportunity to share that diversity with IndyCar. I am Pike Durst. I drive the number 3, and I drive for Turn 3 Motorsports in Pro 2000. It's very intense, not like driving the road courses at all. The car is completely different. this to be your first track, you're kind of just getting thrown in the deep end. You got to get used to that, and I think that's something we get to learn here before we go to race the Indy 500.
My name is Oliver Weldon, and I drive for BRD Motorsport, and car number 98. It was definitely pretty difficult, like my first few days. I really struggled with my driving. I'm starting to improve a little bit. I feel like last session yesterday is kind of where I kind of clicked a bit. I still need to work on a lot and just work with the team about how the race is going, and so we can have the fastest car possible.
Once you build that experience on ovals, it makes a huge difference. Getting thrown in the deep end, it's how you got to learn.
The engines are fired. Time to get things underway.
I think there's a lot more passing than what people expect at this oval particularly, but I think it'll be good for the race.
And there we go. We'll roll them off here.
When you start everyone together, it's this giant air fest of just like trying to get a wing somewhere to get some air to maybe get a run. And if you don't get that run, then you know someone's going to get a run on you, and then you have to defend. So you got to keep building those runs, keep fighting basically.
We're at it, folks. We are green, green, green. Racing into turn number 1. Oh, we got a wreck. Driver off. That's Martella. I think that's Martella. He is wrecked. Martella walks away in disgust. Just got to be alone with your thoughts right now. That is tough. Back at green flag. Green, green, green. Cooley's used the restart to jet away, as has Gabe Kahn. Here comes Weldon on Gundler again. Look at this. Weldon's trying to come with him. Weldon's thinking about making him 3 wide. Oh, why not? Oh, that doesn't usually work. Ooh, Weldon backs out a little bit. He's a winner in USF 2000. This year's Freedom 75 belongs to Evan Cooley. USF Pro 2000. Field set. A scholarship worth almost $600,000 to win. And go to Indy Next Racing. Green, green, green. He's going to clear him. Oh, driver to the wall already. That's a 77 of Frankie Mossman. Scorpione's closing big time. Trouble for Costello. Costello to the top side. Scorpione. It's a turn 3 battle for the race win with 2 to go. Back to the bottom comes Scorpione. Costello covers. Scorpione checks. Michael Costello gets the race win. A turn 3 Motorsports 1-2 that almost went up in smoke with 2 to go. That was unbelievable.
Obviously, safety's number 1 in this series. That's what makes all this possible.
For a driver, you can't really give 100% if you're worried about your safety.
When you're out driving, you don't want to be thinking about that. You don't want to be thinking about what could go wrong, what could happen to you. My name is Wesley Gundler. I'm the USF 2000 driver, number 46 for NB Motorsports. The AMR safety team, super quick responses. And of course the Halo, these cars, all super sturdy, so it's never in my mind while I'm racing that anything bad would happen. You know, oh man, I'm gonna get hurt if I do this. You know, you can go full bore and not worry about any bad things happening to you.
I'm Frankie Mossman. I drive for BRD Racing in the number 77. A lot of my family is not very involved in racing, so like for them to come here and be confident in everything that's going on and have the AMR safety crew bringing us in and having the safety checks after you have an incident, it really brings them a toast of confidence as well too, and that's what makes all this possible.
We work very closely with Tatis. They can build a fantastic car, as we know. It's a little bit upgraded for us here in the U.S. because we have a double bulkhead in the front of the car in the monocoque. They have their side intrusion panels as well, and of course, I think we all looked back in 2022 when Dan Anderson insisted that we bring the Halo into the program. And we've watched so many races, there's so many incidents where we've had to have wrecks where there's tire marks on the Halo, whatever it may be. That Halo is what has taken our program, the safety, to the next level. First race for the USF Pro Championships on the weekend. We are green, green, green. Clean and green through the first couple of corners out of turn 3. Eddie Beswick wins across the line, and the number 23, Brad Majman, taking second. Green, 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 and a fantastic start from the inside line. We'll definitely go full course yellow, and we are going to go back to green flag racing, folks. Argyros trying to go to lead on the outside. Book it. He'll take it on the outside. Argyros goes to P1, new leader. Ladies and gentlemen, he is now a race winner in USF Pro 2000. The opening event at Road America goes to G3 Argyros. He won at Indianapolis, and he's a winner as well here at Road America. Anthony Martello wins race number 2. They'll go side by side under the Sargento Bridge for the first time, and 2 wide. Big wreck in the back of the track, a car way up in the air. Just another testament to the quality of this Tatis race car. Green flag is flying. Brad Majman's going to get his second win of the season. What a stellar weekend it's been for the kid from California. Ladies and gentlemen, back-to-back jacks for G3 Argyros. He wins at Road America in race number 2 for USF Pro 2000.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And to handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's It's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
Welcome back to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. 2 qualifying sessions already done and dusted. 1 more still to come. The USF Juniors and USF 2000 drivers have spent their time on the racetrack. The 30-minute window with the 20 minutes of green flag. We had 2 fantastic sessions for both of those categories. No red flags at all during those sessions, so we were quickly through the 20 minutes. Let's see if we get the same thing here as the drivers in USF Pro 2000 roll out onto the racetrack. Again, 16 drivers set to go. Leonardo Scorpioni was the quickest this morning in Pro 2000 practice. Once again, my name is Rob Howden, joined by the voice of Mid-Ohio, Mr. John Phippen here today. The temperature keeps rolling up, folks. About 90 degrees here trackside now as the forecasted high of 92 looming. A warm one for sure. A lot of blue skies you can see. A little cloud cover, but it is doing nothing to dissuade the heat at all, John. It's a warm one here at the racetrack. It's going to be a tough challenge. Not only is the track a challenge, weather's going to be a challenge when we go racing. A longer event, main events for the 3 times that these drivers in Pro 2000 will go wheel to wheel.
Yeah, they've got 2 races tomorrow and then the final race first thing in the morning on Sunday morning. So different times of the day, and that's going to be a real job for these teams and drivers to get these cars ready to go as this track evolves very dramatically from session to session, not only from day to day.
Maybe the biggest thing for the USF Pro 2000 drivers is there's only 2 sessions for them here today, the hottest day of the weekend. They practiced earlier today, on track now for what will be a very warm 20-minute qualifying run. Likely going to be a little cooler tomorrow with the chance of potential precipitation for the remainder of the weekend. So not quite as hot for these drivers who will run longer races than USF Juniors and USF 2000. I mentioned Leonardo Scorpioni. Let's talk by looking at the drivers who were quick earlier today in the practice session. Leonardo for Turn 3 Motorsport laid down a 117.202. He currently rolls in here 3rd place in points. A couple of victories, rather 1 victory for him at the start of the season, was on the podium as well on the oval at Indianapolis Raceway Park. But the driver who chased him not far back, just over a 10th back this morning in practice, is the point leader, Jack Jeffers. San Antonio, Texas is what he calls home, now living actually in Indianapolis, Indiana, to be with the team. Last year's USF 2000 champion, a couple of wins on the season. Real strong, other than maybe a blip in the opening round where he got into the wall late in the race at Arlington. Jeffers has been very good, and a P2 starting the day off. I expect he'll be gunning for a pole position here as well.
Indeed he will. He was second quick this morning, as you said. Andres Cardenas also had a good run for Jay Howard Driver Development, powered by Ed Carpenter Racing. Just less than a 10th of a second off of Jeffers' time. Sebastian Marson also had a good lap. Manson, I was right first time. And Michael Costello rounding out the top 5 for this morning's practice session.
Yeah, Turn 3 Motorsports has a number of drivers up front there, right? Scorpioni was P1, then you got 4th and 5th for Manson and Costello, so they've got a pretty good setup on that race car. Same went for Tyke Durst. He was P8 as well before going off and eventually losing his fast lap. But the bottom line is Turn 3 Motorsports got a pretty good car set up here now, and they would like to have a good weekend here. They didn't have the best weekend at Road America, that's for sure. A couple of top 5s for Scorpioni, but anytime they roll off the trailer looking for race wins. Costello with a victory as well. He won on the oval at IRP, is also on the podium in the opening round at Arlington. It's been some up and downs for Costello, but he's still 5th place in points. And I think one of the things you and I talked about earlier was this really finally, with 3 races here, a triple header at Mid-Ohio, they're going to get to the halfway point of the season. They've kind of been doing double headers. They haven't run as many races. Arlington, Indianapolis, IRP, and Road America. So this is their opportunity to start that maybe push to the second half of the season. Mid-Ohio, always a turning point weekend. I talk about the fact that if you kind of come up big here, it sets up the momentum through to the end of the season. Lots of racing still to go for the drivers in USF Pro 2000, but Mid-Ohio, John, always so crucial.
And 5 different winners in these first races here. So you've got a pair of 2-time winners, Jack Jeffers, the points leader, and G3 Argio is coming off a sweep at Road America. But, you've got Scorpioni as a winner, Costello's a winner, Jacob Douglas, who's not here this weekend, is a winner already. So, the field could not be more diverse. You've got 5 different winners in 7 races, 8 races. So.
And you look at the drivers who have been on the podium as well. Teddy Macella's been on the podium, right? Matt Clark not here as well. Mayor DeHonore not here. Timmy Kacharsek, who was on the podium on the oval as well, the Indy Next driver who came and ran at IRP in the Freedom 90 to get the oval experience. Otherwise, really the podiums and top 5s have been kind of up to the guys there that are in the top 6, top 7 in points. So the cream rising to the top as it always does every year. Many of those drivers, of course, rookies in this program, some coming back for a second season like Frankie Mossman and Michael Costello. But the rookies lead the way right now with Jeffers, Argyros, and Scorpioni. And you look at the colors of the cars to a certain extent. Obviously, the scholarship car for Jack Jeffers winning USF 2000 last year. You can't take the scholarship from juniors all the way to pro, but Scorpioni won the USF Juniors Championship last year. He had the scholarship colors on the car at St. Petersburg, where he got a couple of podiums in USF 2000, but electing to park that car and move on to USF Pro 2000 after getting an opportunity to run with Turn 3 Motorsports. So, indeed, getting things rolling here, the first 5 minutes in the books. Andres Cardenas leading the way for Jay Howard, a driver development. He had a very strong run with a couple of podium finishes at Road America. So a good, I think, turnaround, momentum push, light the fire, if you will, for Cardenas, feeling a lot more comfortable with the program. And one thing I'll say about this, John, about USF Pro 2000, by the time they get here to Mid-Ohio, I always say that they've kind of had a feel for everything that we do. Street circuit at Arlington, the oval at IRP, and of course natural terrain road courses like Road America. So they've got a taste for everything. So the rookies aren't really rookies anymore. They got halfway through the season. Now they can step up as freshmen and shine. Although, let's be real, the rookies are 1, 2, 3 in the points.
A driver with some local roots, I think, is due. He's had 4 podiums this season, still looking for that first win. And that's Frankie Mossman, of course, coming up out of Medina, Ohio, currently living in California for VRD Racing. I would think this is a weekend that he might break through and finally get that top step.
I would not be surprised at all. Frankie's been super quick, very talented driver, does a lot of coaching with the young karting kids coming up the ranks, following in the footsteps that he did when he was younger. Frankie currently sitting in the 5th position here in the number 77. Indeed, like you said, he's been kind of knocking at the door, right, waiting for that breakout weekend. We know VRD Racing has a fantastic race car for the USF 2000s. Very similarly, if they have a feel for what the car needs, we'll see if Mossman's able to make it happen here. Up front right now, though, literally we have 5 different teams, probably 6 different teams in the top 6. Cardenas, Scorpioni, Jeffers, Argyros, Masella, and Cameron. So now it's Argyros on top for Paps, Cardenas for Jay Howard, Scorpioni Turn 3, Jeffers exclusive, Masella VRD, Cameron TJ Speed. So people ask me, hey, if I'm going to come and run in the USF Pro Championships, what team do I need to be with? I said, look at the results.
You got pick one.
any one of these teams can win on any given weekend. That's the beauty of this program, which I think is key. It's a spec program, as we all know.
Sure.
Same Tatis chassis, the same engines built by Elite, same Continental tires all the way around. So it's a spec car. The team, of course, chassis setup, the whole setup of the race car itself is key, but the driver's there as well. I think you can win with any team, and we've seen it before. So many teams have been able to win races over the years. G3 Argyros, the driver with the momentum coming in from Road America, 2 wins there to get that monkey off of his back. He was a very dominant driver on that weekend, moving him up to 2nd place in points. He leads the way right now with a 117.623. They're about 4/10 off where they were earlier today. Now, we're getting our way through. How many drivers have seen the pit lane? Yeah, Turn 3 Motorsports is bringing in Manson. They brought in Costello, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Scorpioni here soon as well. Here comes Joey Brienza for Exclusive Autosport in that beautiful Indiana University Kelly School of Business livery. The Jay Howard cars are coming in as well, Cardenas and JT Hoskins. Yeah, here comes Jeffers. Call it a wholesale run into pit lane here. 77 of Mossman as well, 25 of Masella. You can see a very clear racetrack here if you're watching at home.
Yeah, coming up on halfway, about 11 minutes and a half remaining.
So the first half of this, the drivers will take these tires, teams will, and set them aside, very likely heat cycle those to run them in one of the races. They'll have a couple of tires to choose from, 4 sets over 3 races, 1 qualifying session. Scorpioni on top, 117.501. G3 Argyros in 2nd. 3rd is Andres Cardenas. 4th is Jack Jeffers. 5th is Michael Costello. 6th is Frankie Mossman. There's your top 6. Teddy Masella runs 7th. Christian Cameron 8th. Sebastian Manson 9th, and Logan Adams in 10th. Thomas Schrag, tail of the field right now. Very surprising. The local driver from Bethel, Ohio. Always very good here at Mid-Ohio. He's got 5 laps in, 118.8 and a 1.3 seconds back. That's a shock to me that Schrag in the 26, that TJ Speed machine, so far back. He was P9 earlier today with a 17.7, so he's over a second off where he was this morning. So work to be done there for sure. His teammate Christian Cameron up in 8th at a 118.2. So I don't think we've seen the last of Thomas Schrag yet, so just give him some time. There's still 10 minutes remaining in the session. Remember, folks, a lot shorter break after this one here. We are set to go. Driver introductions for USF Juniors race number 1 at 12:50. So look forward to probably a start time of around 12:40 for the broadcast. So if you're watching online in this continual stream of all the qualifying and the opening race of the weekend, make sure you don't miss the very start of the show, likely around 12:40. 12:50, I'll start driver introductions, and we'll get ready to go for the first green flag of 7 on the weekend for the USF Pro Championships. Again, the whole concept of this series is to develop these young drivers out of karting, getting them ready for Indy Next and IndyCar.
There's a doubleheader for Indy Next here this weekend, as well as the IndyCar race on Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, it's a full weekend of racing.
Yeah, this is an open wheel festival.
You betcha.
If you love IndyCar racing, I love to say this is like going to the ballpark and being able to watch a single A game, a double A game, a triple A game, and the major league game as well in the same day on the same weekend. So you just get a look at the future, you get a look at the present as well. It's just amazing. Scorpione on top of that 117.501. We're watching these drivers circulate around this fantastic racetrack. 2.258 miles, 13 corners. John and I talked a little bit about them. Turn 1, pretty straightforward. Roll the center, get as much speed as you can through there. Turn 2, a lot different. Entry, hard braking, uphill braking into a downhill right-hand off-camber corner, which is, like you said, John, the most important corner on this racetrack. You have to get out of that corner to get down to turn 4.
Exactly right, yeah. The exit speed there is so important, and it's very, very tricky. Like you say, it's off-camber, it goes downhill. Your urge is to get on the power early, and that is just the wrong thing to do. You have to be patient through that turn before you get on the power to maximize your acceleration heading down this downhill long straightaway with a dogleg right just before hitting the brakes hard for the heaviest braking zone and therefore the best passing opportunity on the racetrack, where you can see on screen right now at the end of turn 4.
Turn 4, 5, 6. Up the hill, down the hill, around to the right-hander through the 7-8 combination of the left-right flick over to turn number 9. Car gets super light as you crest the hill of turn number 9, dropping down into Thunder Valley. Back up through the blind 10-11, leading to the turn 12 carousel, back to turn number 13, leading you onto the front straightaway once again. Challenging racetrack that really changes throughout the weekend in terms of weather. And for these drivers here, they're going to be surprised, at least USF 2000, these drivers USF Pro 2000 not back on track for their opening race of 3 tomorrow. But when USF 2000 gets on track, because remember, juniors are up next for their race. They're going to run on the same racetrack they ran on for 2 days.
Yep.
Indy Next, IndyCar out. The USF 2000 drivers are in for a surprise, and they really aren't going to know what the track's going to feel like till they get out on their one reconnaissance lap before we go back to green here on start-finish. So it's the track's going to change a lot, as we know. IndyCar and Indy Next rubber going down. This is going to be a dynamic racing surface for the drivers so when we get back at it. Just under 7 minutes remaining in qualifying here. Leonardo Scorpione still on top. His fast lap from lap 6 standing 117.501. G3 Argyros from lap 4. Lap 2, Andres Cardenas, Jack Jefferson, Thomas Schrag has gone to P5. What did I say?
Yep.
117.943. His lap, 8th lap, the best for Schrag, up to P5. And this is when it's all going to kind of come together here, folks, in the last 5-6 minutes. In fact, probably the last couple of minutes, to be honest, as the cars start to lighten up a little bit here. You'll see we're seeing a lot of green on live timing. And green means the drivers are setting their personal best. If they go purple, that means they're the fast driver, and only one can have that. Scorpione now with a 117.501. But a lot of green, a lot of drivers turning their best laps so far in this 30-minute window to get in 20. green lap runs.
Yeah, coming up on 5 minutes remaining, and that's when it's really going to get serious. Scorpione's time is still about 0.3 off his time from practice this morning. So he's been atop the charts pretty much all day today. So we'll see if he can hang on to that provisional pole. But G3 Argios certainly is on a hot streak here after sweeping the weekend in the last race meeting at Road America. Cardenas, Jeffers, we talked about the points leader, Schrag, getting a late start. Brady Golan suddenly making his presence felt. He's up to 6th now with a 17.9.
John, same thing with Tyke Durst as well. Tyke had gone up. That's a turn 3 drivers. They're all green, right? Leonardo Scorpi's up front right now, but we saw Golan go up into 6th, now 7th. Michael Costello's there as well. Manson and Durst. So all 5 of the turn 3 cars in the top 10 right now. They have half of the top 10. They're leading the way. They've bookmarked it with our bookended it rather with Leonardo Scorpione up top and Tyke Durst in 10th. So everybody looking to find more pace here, and it's surprising, not really. Andres Cardenas goes to P1 for Jay Howard driver development, 1:17.277. The entire top 11 going green on that last lap. Everybody dialing things in. Cardenas goes to the top. Jeffers back by 0.009 of a second. Scorpione, Argyros, Masella, top 5. Mossman, Schrag, Cameron, Golan, Costello.
And again, the top 5 separated by less than 1/10 of a second. You couldn't ask for a closer battle here.
Costello goes from 10th to 4th on that lap. 1:17.349 for Michael Costello. So yeah, a lot of green. Everybody in the top 11 turned their best lap, and watch for more of that to happen. These tire temperatures and tire pressures are hitting right where they need to right now. Scorpione, first driver, into the 16s. Faster, about 0.3 faster than the practice this morning. 16.968 for Leonardo Scorpione. He's won here before in USF Juniors competition. Scorpione likes this racetrack, and he's P1 right now with less than 4 minutes to go.
He's got about 1/4 of a second in hand over Cardenas in second, and then another 1/4 of a second back to G3 Argios. Jack Jeffers and Michael Costello, your top 5, but as Rob just said, the top 11 have all improved their times on this last lap as we're counting down to about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, you hesitate to get too anxious about everything that's happening because drivers just keep laying down faster and faster laps, right? They're laying down faster laps quicker than we can actually call them out. So right now, a Scorpione with that 1:16.9, about only 0.03 faster than Cardenas on that last lap. So, and again, we look at top, how many drivers? Top 5, all 5 different teams. Turn 3, Jay Howard. Thomas Schrag goes to 3rd for TJ Speed. Teddy Masella for VRD. Argyros for Paps, and Jeffers for Exclusive. So literally, again, top 6 different drivers here. 3 minutes to go. Big lap there for Thomas Schrag. I told you how much he loves this racetrack. 1:17.224. The home track where he knows when he comes here, the track's not going to be the issue, right? He knows this racetrack inside and out, loves it. He's an Ohio guy, so he's a Buckeye, so wants to be at the home race. He wants to always perform. Thomas Schrag hoping for a race win here for TJ Speed. But still, 2.5 minutes to go. 1:16.917. Only one driver able to break the 1:17 so far, although Cardenas and Argyros very close. Both of those drivers just a couple hundredths of a second off breaking into the 1:16s.
Yeah, 1/10 of a second separates the top 3.
Correct. A little bit of a gap back to Schrag. He's about 0.3 back.
Oh my, that's a 1/4 of a second. My goodness.
It's a Scorpione's lap stand. 1:16.917.
Schrag, Musella, Jeffers, and Mossman all on the same 10th.
Watching those drivers come back around again. Here comes Mossman. He's already come across the line. He's currently 7th. Costello 8th. Cameron 9th. Golan 10th. Argyros was quickest on his last lap, lap 11 as well.
90 seconds to go.
Who's the next driver to go green? Who's the next driver to jump up a couple of spots? Scorpione in front of us here at start finish. Great shot there on the final corner. There's turn number 1. Flat. Keep on the throttle. Little break. Back on the throttle. Then big sweeping corner. Crucial run up the hill to turn number. Oh, red flag. Red flag out with 1. That's effectively going to shut it down. Yeah, we may be able to get back on track for 1 minute, but no one's going to be able to get the pace. Not sure what it is. There it is there. Driver's gone around. One of the VRD cars potentially. That might be Colin Aiken.
So the exit of the keyhole.
Yeah, driver, we talked about getting down that hill, the off-camber corner. You kind of roll on the throttle, and if you go too early, the rear end's going to break loose. So this is likely going to lock things down here with Leonardo Scorpioni on top of the 1:16.917. So remember, second fastest lap crucial as well, as we know. Yeah, I think he's able to get back underway under his own power. Safety truck leaving the spot. Drivers working their way back into pit lane here on the red. And that very likely, again, 106, they may get one flying lap, right? If we are able to go back to green, and we'll be able to go back to green. When we do, the drivers will head out on track. They'll be able to get back, I believe, to the alternate timing line to start a new lap. So there's an opportunity for a one-lap flyer to see if you can't get a better lap time here. Scorpioni 1:16.917. Does anybody have a one-lapper in them? This is going to be super cool to watch because that's another mark of a race car driver, right? And I'll say this, I've been racing for now 31 years. Started karting back in 1995. I've raced a 125 shifter kart here. I've driven a Formula V here, a Formula First here. I'm just never that fantastic at qualifying, I'll be honest. Just like maybe extracting that one lap out of it, I don't know what it is. If I get in a groove, get into a pack, I'm good. Mark of a driver, though, is, hey, listen, we're going to give you one lap. You're going to go out here and try to extract everything you can. Put it all together, right? Because, John, drivers all talk. They'll come back to the paddock. They'll look at their data, and they'll see the theoretical lap, right? On your data, folks, if you don't know this, your data will tell you can see all your fast laps, but it also grab every segment around the racetrack, put it together. That's your theoretical best.
Right.
So if you did every lap the way you could because you've done it, here's the best lap you could get. The best drivers get very, very close to that theoretical lap on their fastest lap. You have to do that here right now with one lap. If you can get back around here, because the tires are still going to be very hot. It's not like they're cooling down. It's a very hot day. They're going to get one lap. If someone gets the lap done, this is something that always amazes me for these young drivers when they can throw that one down on a, hey, you're out there for one more lap. Can you put it on the pole?
Yeah.
I love that.
Does race control have the option to add a minute to this so that everybody will get another lap, because the whole field is not going to be able to get around and get a lap started in a minute 6?
I'd say the race control can do whatever they want to do. I'm not in race control, so
yeah, they're one floor below us here.
Yeah, well, I'll say this: we have time too. Remember, this session is a half an hour session, right?
Yeah.
So they could eventually add another lap if they wanted. We're back to green and we're rolling here. Yeah, because this session doesn't end for another 9 minutes. So could they add another minute? They could. I don't know that we will.
Yep.
The drivers who are going slow out of here, I don't know that I want to be doing that right now. Because, again, they've got to get themselves around. Yeah, there's the guys racing their way up to turn number 2.
Yeah, their goal is to get across the alternate timeline just at the exit of turn 9 before the clock expires, so they get one full lap.
And they're running out of time, if you ask me right now.
Yeah, they need to be hustling.
Exactly that. We'll see how many drivers are able to get back through, or whether or not they're going to let everybody go through one time. I don't know whether that potentially was communicated that, hey, we're going to give you one lap, so everybody's going to get a shot to get through and get one more lap here. I don't know. We'll see. Because right now the time is winding down. 15 seconds to go. If that's not the case, we're going to see a checker flag. We can see it from where we stand here. As the drivers work their way up through Thunder Valley up into turn number 11.
The time has expired, but I do not see the checker, so I think that's exactly what's happening. They're going to let everybody come by and get one flyer. That's a great decision.
I like that. I like that a
great
lot.
decision. Yep.
Agreed. And I believe the driver out front was Leonardo Scorpioni. I think he's got the open track. So nice open track for the number 4 of Scorpioni. Driver to Windermere, Florida, USF Juniors champion last year. Impressive in his USF 2000 debut at St. Petersburg. First time on a street circuit as well. Ends up with a couple of podiums there. Elected to move up to USF 2000 or USF Pro 2000. His first race, a street circuit at Arlington, gets a win.
Yep.
Running second behind Jack Jeffers after a minor miscue for Jeffers puts him in the wall. Scorpioni ends up inheriting the victory there. He's looking very good. Colin Aiken brings the number 11 Morgan Stanley machine into pit lane.
Yes.
Checker flag being shown here for us here. So, yeah, this will be it. Last guy around was Jack Jefferson, the number 92. So he will be the final driver to come across the line, currently sitting in the 6th spot. He will definitely want more than that, having been second earlier today. Who's got what it takes here with a one-lap flyer to extract everything out of these tires and these race cars A couple of turn 3 drivers running together. That's not going to help them at all because you're going to get the arrow push the driver in second in that group. In fact, all the turn 3 cars came out together. All right, looking for the lap times here from Scorpione. He does not go quicker. No one going quicker as of yet. Being told the driver has spun. There's the driver spinning coming out of the corner, trying to get that thing re-rolling again. That was G3 Argyros. Argyros went around in turn number 9, but he's able to continue to the 360. Logan Adams does go better. He does a quicker lap time, but still 14th, back by 1.3 seconds. We talked about that. Here's the final driver across the line here. That'll be Jeffers. Does he find anything on the final circuit? I don't see it.
18 flat.
18 flat for Jeffers, so no. Jack Jeffers isn't able to get the job done either. Nobody goes quicker on the final circuit. Leonardo Scorpione, a kind of bonus point for the driver in 3rd spot in the championship, and it'd be a pole position for race number 1. Remember, that second fastest lap, whatever it is going to be for race 2 and race 3 provisionally. If they go faster in race 1, they can use that time for race 2. If they go faster in race 2, they can use that time for race number 3. Leonardo Scorpione, 116.917, the only driver to break the 117 barrier. Andres Cardenas for Jay Howard ends up in the 2nd spot. G3 Argyros and Thomas Schrag on road number 2. What a great late run for Thomas Schrag. He was 16th past the halfway point, got some pace in the car, worked his way up to 4th. Teddy Masello and Jack Jeffers will start on row number 3. Frankie Mossman and Michael Costello row 4. And Christian Cameron and Brady Golan on row number 5. 6 sessions down, 1 to go. We'll cap off this long run here on the broadcast with USF Juniors. Expect the broadcast to get started here in about 4 minutes, very likely. Getting right into it here if you're watching online. I'll start driver introductions at 12:50, about 14 minutes from now, folks. We're done with testing. We're done with practice. We're done with qualifying. It's time to go racing with the USF Pro Championships. USF Juniors up next.
First.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And to handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. What a morning it has been here. Those of you who are tuning in and following us on the YouTube channel, thank you so much for being along for the ride here. Again, a very busy morning. Kick things off at 8 o'clock with 3 runs through the practice order, all 3 of the categories of the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tires on the docket here for this fantastic weekend at Mid-Ohio. Started things off with 3 sessions, as I had said, in the practice runs with USF Juniors, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000. Followed that with 3 more sessions as qualifying done as well. Time for our first race, and it'll be back-to-back races for USF Juniors. One here and one tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. They'll be done after that, is heading to Lime Rock for a test on Tuesday and a race next Friday and Saturday. So Juniors will wrap things up tomorrow morning. But they'll get things started here today, and let's have a look at the grid. 20 drivers ready to go. The cars have worked their way out onto the pit lane. So let's get going and work our way through the grid. Starting in the 20th position in the number 7 machine, that is Aaron Narola from Fairfax, Virginia. Narola in the J. Howard Driver Development, powered by ECR machine. Alongside Aaron in the number 9, that is J.W. Main from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Another J. Howard car Main in the number 9, starting in the 19th position. We'll roll now up to row number 9, starting on the outside from Hunting Valley, Ohio. It's a home race for Maddie Colleran in the Zanella Racing number 29. Colleran starting in the 18th spot. She'll be starting alongside a driver making his debut in USF Juniors here this weekend in the number 18. Another Ohio driver, that is Jack Haydu in the number 18 for D Force Racing. Haydu from Chagrin Falls, Ohio. So a couple of Ohio drivers on row number 9. All Zanella on row number 8. It'll be Jared Ozelka on the outside in the number 21. Ozelka starting in the 16th position. Alongside him, young driver Leonardo Saravalli made his USF 2000 debut just 2 weeks ago at Road America. Saravalli in the number 87 for Zanella, rolling off from P15. Zanella on row number 7 as well. Grant Mitchell out of Illinois in the number 28, the rookie driver starting on the outside. And driver sitting there in the top 5 in points, number 88, Victor Couto is going to start from 13th. Work to be done for the rookie Couto in the 88, but again, rolling off from the inside of row number 7. Up to row number 6 from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, a USF Juniors winner already this year at Carolina Motorsports Park. That's Cole Medeiros for Exclusive Autosport in the number 97. Watch for him to attack forward here very quickly. And 2 times a winner this year at Homestead, Max McCarrum in the number 46 for Zanella Racing, set to start just outside the top 10 in the 11th position. McCarrum, as I said, twice a winner already this year, right in the championship fight. Up now to row number 5 on the outside. Some good pace in both practice and qualifying runs. That's Max Cuthbert out of England for J. Howard Driver Development. Cuthbert in the number 8, starting in the 10th position, and alongside him the driver who starred in the test here at Mid-Ohio back in April, 9th in qualifying for Brendan Cooley out of Illinois in the Exclusive Autosport number 92. Cooley starting on the inside of row number 5. All D-Force white and blue on row number 4. Pipe Chaparro in the number 20. Great qualifying effort for him on the outside. The driver out of Bogota, Colombia. And alongside him, his teammate from Mexico, Elias Vignola, in the number 19, starting 7th. Again, all D-force on row number 4. Vignola 7th, Chaparro in 8th. Moving down to row number 3, Bex Cranston. We're going to go to his home track at Lime Rock next week, but he is looking good here right now, starting 6th. Cranston for Exclusive Autosport in that brilliant blue IES machine for Exclusive, the number 90. Alongside him, the Williams F1 junior driver, one of the top kart racers in the world right now, Dean Hugendorn for VRD Racing, his second weekend having debuted at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park back in May. Hugendorn in the number 12, set to start from P5. Going to row number 2 on the outside, third place in points, coming in a solid year so far and a great weekend up at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park out of Ontario, Canada for Zanella Racing. That is Olivier Marac in the number 23. Marac looking to continue the streak of the performances he started back up in Canada. Alongside him, fellow Canadians, so all red and white Canadian flags on row number 2. Edward Kennedy, like Hugendorn, just turned 14 in May, able to make his debut there at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Kennedy in the number 30 VRD Racing Machine, starting in the 3rd position. 20 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row, off pole, trying to follow in the footsteps of very successful Danish drivers here in the USF Pro Championships. For J. Howard Driver Development, off pole starter Kasper Nissen in the number 6. Nissen on the outside of row 1. But the driver they've been chasing for the last month and a half, Karol Pasiewicz, the Polish driver, single car effort for Olivia Racing. He dominated the action up in Canada at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, won all 3 races to take the point lead. Pasiewicz is the driver they will chase when they go green flag racing after one reconnaissance lap. Engines fired on pit lane. We are getting set to go for USF Juniors. Pasiewicz and Nissen on row 1. Kennedy and Marac row 2. Hugendorn and Cranston row 3. Vignola and Chaparro row 4. Cooley alongside Cuthbert on row 5. Mokaram and Medeiros on row 6. Kuto and Mitchell row 7. Saravalli and Oselka row 8. Haydu and Collar in row 9. Main and Narola on row number 10. 20 drivers set to go. And again, a lineup of 20 laps for them here, a time window of 40 minutes. Let's bring in the voice of this racetrack, Mr. John Phippen. Great to be here again. We did practice, we did qualifying together. It's time to go wheel-to-wheel racing for the first of 7 events on the weekend here. USF Junior is going to kick things off.
And your 7th session in a row, Rob. Yes. So, you finally get a break after Victory Circle here for a couple hours.
We'll see how it plays out. Indeed, USF 2000 still to come to cap off our day, but these young drivers have had a lot of time on this track, John. I think it's one thing to mention. A number of them have come, raced here before in other programs, whether it be F1600, whatever it may be, F4, you name it. But the bottom line is, for these drivers here, it's now time to go racing. They had a 2-day test in April here at Mid-Ohio, 2 45-minute sessions yesterday. They've had lots of time on this racetrack, but just driving around the track and racing the track are 2 different things. You've called, I don't know how many thousand races here in your career at Mid-Ohio. This place, it's tough to learn how to pass on, first and foremost.
Exactly. As we see the field coming off the keyhole turn, as they work their way down the long back straightaway with a kink in the middle, as it heads down toward turn number 4, the area we call affectionately China Beach, as there's a big gravel trap at the end of that. And was reprofiled a couple seasons ago after Simon Pagenaud's scary incident in the IndyCar race here, I think it was 3 years ago. And barrel rolled through the gravel trap. So we raised the level of that gravel trap. We cut the banking down a little bit on turn number 4 so that the car doesn't get launched if it goes off the edge of the track, and the gravel can do its job to slow it down. And we've already seen several incidents since then that could have been worse than they were, and so those improvements have definitely paid dividends for the safety here at the track.
They've also changed a little bit of a side-by-side action, right? You talk about the kind of banking in turn 4. You could run around the outside of a driver coming down into 4 and maybe hold the outside to pitch back in to get the inside of 5. That's not quite as easy as it used to be. You probably got to be a little bit farther past, but you mentioned the kink there between the keyhole and turn number 4 as well. Drivers have to give room to each other. They're coming through. If you try to come across, there's a driver there, that can be trouble for sure.
Coming out of Thunder Valley into turn 11, one of the trickiest turns on the racetrack and the second fastest turn on the racetrack. But they're side by side, pace cars pulled away. We're getting ready for the start.
Let's get things underway. First of 7 races on the day. Pasiewicz and Nissen row 1, Kennedy and Marac row 2. They'll punch off once they get past the line. We are ready to go racing here. There's a post just on the outside. Field set. Green, green, green. And a great start for Pasiewicz, as he should have. Good start as well for Nissen. Have a look at him here as they work their way down into turn number 1 for the first time. Getting through the opening corner, so crucial. especially for these junior drivers looking for seat time. Big run out of the corner. Pashevich with a good job. He's going to hold the middle of the racetrack now. A couple drivers thinking about the bottom of the track. Very tough to do. A lot of guys will run the outside line. Yeah, look at Edward Kennedy and the other VRD driver trying to run the outside line. If you can make it stick and keep it on the racetrack, you'll get a big run down the straightaway, and he's going to tuck into the slipstream of his teammate. So right there is Kennedy going to second, but does he try Pashevich on the opening lap? Teammate on teammate, and I think they are going to go side by side coming down into turn number 4. Big run around the outside. Again, you have to hold it. Whoa, using all of the exit curbing there for Pashevich. No, that's Kennedy. Kennedy's gone to P1. An outside run, and we got drivers together further back coming through turn number 5. Saravalli involved in that for sure. You can see him pulling away late. It's the 21 of Ozelka. Jared Ozelka with damage to the right front tire and suspension. We will see a full course yellow. Oh, 2 guys together coming out of turn number 9 as well. It's Nissen. He's into the wall. So as the caution had not come out yet, as they normally let the drivers roll around a couple of more circuits to keep racing for as long as they can, 2 drivers connect as well coming out of turn number 9. That side-by-side contact, John said, I believe it might have been Casper Nissen. I'm looking through here. There's the number 8 of Cuthbert. Yeah, that's Nissen, the driver who got shuffled off the outside of the racetrack.
You can see the 21 car of Oselka being attended to by the AMR safety crew. Again, that is not a flat toe. They'll have to get a wrecker here to lift that car up. They're already putting the bar in the roll hoop so that they can hook the wrecker to it, but he'll have to climb out of the car. They don't elevate the car with the driver in it. So
the opening lap, as we know, folks, everybody's bunched up. Great opportunity to make overtakes. Also, you can get overzealous. You can push too hard. We have not seen a replay of this event, so we don't know what happened up in that corner. All I saw when I looked up was drivers going off track at the top of the hill as the remainder of the field came down through 5, down to 6. Number 7 of Arian Narola into pit lane as well. So Jay Howard with a couple of drivers having issue there. Narola in the 18 into pit lane. The driver off on turn number 10 as well. That's coming out of 9. So the contact for Nissen side by side shot him to the left side off in the grass. At that point, John, you know you're kind of holding on there with the speed you have and coming over the hill, and he just made contact with the Armco barriers on the outside of that corner. So difficulties for both those drivers. Selka out, Nissen out, Narola down the order. Saravalli had some contact as well. I didn't get a chance to see whether or not there was damage, too much damage to the car of Saravalli. He was late getting away from the run. Not sure what the issue was for Narola. Looks like they're potentially working on the front of that, the right front of that car again. Are they pulling the shock cover off?
Yes.
They are. I got a report potentially as he started, it sounded like that maybe the engine had a kind of a stuck throttle.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me that, one of my spotters, that the engine is spooled up, and at that point when the car goes stuck throttle, if you get on the brake, the electronics of the machine will put it into what's called limp mode.
Yep.
So we did see a driver who kind of wasn't able to pull away at the start of that one. Being told we do have a look at the incident over in turn number 5. Not sure if it's 5 or 9, but we are going to get a replay here for you folks. Have a look at the boards. Look a little further back in the field here. What do we have? Oh, that looked to me like Saravalli potentially getting into the back end of Ozelka, then Ozelka pushed sideways. I'd love to have another look at that now that we know what we're looking at there, but look for the contact further back.
Looked like Cole Maduro's got up over the back of somebody as well.
I think it was the 87 of Saravalli.
Oh, it was the 87? I thought it was the 97. Okay, you may be right.
I think it might have been the 87. Hopefully we'll have another look at that there to be able to see exactly what happened. So yeah, let's have one more look, those of you at home and those of you around the track on the big screens. Look a little bit further back here, far right side of the screen. Saravalli looking for a room. You wonder whether or not he was caught out by Ozelka getting on the brake, and then he got into the back of Kudo as well. So there's the wing gone for the 88 of Victor Kudo. Everybody else trying to slide their way through. Good job for Matty Colleran and Grant Mitchell, I think, to be able to get through there. J.W. Main did a great job. He started, remember, back in 19th. He's up into 12th, was able to go to the inside. Here's that next wreck. Sorry, folks, I was looking down at the live timing. Hopefully we can have another look at that as well. So that was the incident over in turn number 9. Ozelka's already out of the car here at this point. They've got him worked on. But we'll try to have another look again at that incident in turn number 9. Here it is here. You see the contact there between he and, I want to say, Bex Cranston. That looks like it was he and Cranston. So coming over the hill there, we picked it up just late enough that we couldn't see what happened, because as they come over the hill, Cranston's on the inside, Nissen's on the outside, and you wonder whether or not as they came over the hill, did Cranston come across, or did Nissen potentially do one of the where you drop a wheel and you cut to bring it back on the track?
Yep.
Race Control will easily get a look at those videos. I guarantee that it'll be the video of both cars and then the guy in the back.
Yeah.
I always say the guy trailing oftentimes has the best video of the incident. But, yeah, contact between those two drivers as they work their way to turn number 9. And I talked about that. You're talking cold tires.
Right.
Likely brand new tires as well.
Yep.
Where the car gets completely light coming over.
Unweighted, yeah.
Unweighted, back down, and then when you get to the outside, when you get on the rumbles there, if you drop a little bit of wheel, you're going to have to pick it back. I don't know whether or not they got contacted and that shoved Nissan off, or if Nissan potentially came back. So very tough. I've seen a lot of drivers spin coming out of that corner, dropping a wheel. You can see, obviously, if you look at the exit curbing, there is a ton of grass ripped up on the outside, because that extra part gets used significantly. In all the chaos, let's get back to the fact that Edward Kennedy got a tremendous run, went to the outside of the keyhole, John, got on power, went side by side with his teammate all the way down into turn 4, and then ran him on the outside and took over the lead. So fantastic job for Kennedy, not teammates rather. Pardon me, Karol Pasiewicz with Olivia Racing. But for Kennedy, fantastic drive to go on the outside to get that done. Absolutely amazing run there for a young driver, just 14 years of age, his second weekend, only his 4th start in USF Juniors after the triple header up at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Kennedy, your leader. Pasiewicz into 2nd, Olivier Marac in 3rd, Bex Cranston in 4th spot, Dean Hugendorn in 5th, Elias Vignola in 6th, Brendan Cooley 7th, Max Cuthbert 8th, Pipa Chaparro 9th, and Cole Medeiros in 10th. So a couple of those drivers up 2, obviously with Nissen dropping to the tail. That's going to let everybody go up 1 spot essentially from 2nd on back. But J.W. Main, the big mover, he and Jack Haydu up into 12th as well. He started in 17th, so +5 for him. And the same goes for J.W. Main, who he's 19th to 6th, so +6 for him. So, John, a couple of drivers taking advantage of the chaos of an opening lap to be able to come out with some big position advantage.
Saravalli, who we mentioned, was involved in that incident up at turn 5, got up on the back of another car. I saw him slowly down the front straightaway here so his team could have a look over the wall to see if there was any damage that he can't see, which, the driver could barely see the front wing from the driver's seat. And so it was an opportunity for them to check it out, make sure everything is good. That way he didn't come into the pits and lose a lap.
I believe that Victor Couto, I'm trying to see whether or not he came in to get his wing on. I assume he probably did. So Victor Couto fell back down to 17th. The team able to get likely a new front wing on for him. Not sure whether or not the pace car is bolting away here now. I think he potentially is. Yeah,
looks like it. Single file restart.
And I should say Gail Troyce, the driver of our pace car. She's been our pace car driver for many, many years.
Honda Civic Type R this weekend.
That's it. And into pit lane. We're going racing, folks. Let's get back at it here to the start-finish as we get set to line things back up again. Drivers working their way onto the front straightaway, and we're back to green flag once again, heading down into turn number 1. Here they come. Edward Kennedy is going to take the lead. Not everybody will be stacked up this time. Working lap number 5 here. We lost 3 of them for the yellow flag on the opening circuit.
Cranston and Hugendorn going side by side in the battle for 4th and 5th.
Why not? See if Hugendorn can run that outside line. No. Cranston's going to hold the inside. There it is, the blue and white D-Force car of Elias Vignola down to the bottom of the racetrack as well. Good launch. Another driver dropping a wheel further back, but a really good launch for Kennedy to get things underway. Strong again through the keyhole on those cold tires, just as he used to pass Pasiewicz on the opening circuit. That fight that John talked about for 4 still not done. And you can see Hugendorn trying to find a way by Bex Cranston. Let's see if we can't get that first lap in the books, get things settled in here a little bit. Indeed, drivers finally getting into single file, clean and green this time through turn number 5 and 6. Let's try to do the same thing over in turn number 9 because it was messy there as well. Try to get that opening lap rolling here. 20 laps in total, a 40-minute window. We've burned up about 10 minutes and 4 laps thus far. Oh, big run off the track for one of the D-Force drivers, and going through that there, he lost the front wing as well. Not sure where that wing is still underneath the car or not, but that driver will be heading to pit lane here. If it gets stuck, there's going to be trouble coming out of that corner. He's trying, no, he's still on the racetrack. So that driver, who I believe it might have been Chaparro, that wing is stuck underneath the race car. Now, it's far enough back, it's probably not going to go anywhere, but they'll likely black flag him, sitting in a precarious place as it is.
That's kind of stuck on the T-tray there underneath the driver's legs.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So, Pipa Chaparro, an off over in turn number 9. I talked about not wanting to have another issue there because it was messy. He got off there, and John, as you know, it's not glass smooth over there. You're going to kind of bump it over top, and as he bumped, went down, dug the wing in, and we're going full course yellow again. I wonder if it's just maybe some debris when he came back on the racetrack, because you have to believe he came off. No, yeah, hold on. Being told another driver may be off the racetrack here. Let me see here. Safety. Yeah, we got a driver off at turn 1, John.
Okay, yeah, because I saw a safety truck pulling out of station 11.
Told us a 23 Olivier Marac is off the racetrack in turn number 1. So full course yellow again. It wasn't for the issue in turn 1. Let's have a look. Here's the driver going off here. Chaparro just totally misses the corner. The minute he hits the ground, wait till you see it dig in, and boom, there goes the front wing. But we also have a driver off in turn number 1. So that kind of caught us off guard a little bit there. Getting my updates from race control. That's Olivier Marac has gone off over in turn number 1. That's big for a driver coming here 3rd place in points. Coming off 3 straight podium finishes. His 5th, those are his 3rd, 4th, and 5th of the year for Marac. You hate to see that when he was running P3. It's going to move everybody back up here. Full course yellow. It's been a messy start to USF Juniors. We've had a couple of, in fact, our last race at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park went green to checker. I expected that. Did not get that here today. A couple of miscues on drivers. And here comes the number 20 of Chaparro into pit lane. They'll have to get the front lifted up to be able to get that wing out first and foremost, then replace the nose. So Kennedy leads. Paschewitz runs in 2nd. Cranston 3rd. Hugender in 4th. Cuthbert 5th. Vignola 6th. Mokaram in 7th. Cole Medeiros 8th. Brendan Cooley 9th. And Jack Haydu's up into 10th. JW Main in 12th. Great job for the rookie Haydu. They just staying out of trouble right now.
Yeah, first start. Great job. Like I say, he comes from F1600, so he's used to close quarters racing. So, he's done a great job so far.
That's true. We'll see how it plays out here. Again, waiting for more updates from race control. Not sure what happened with Marac in turn number 1. So indeed, Kennedy and Pashevich, the drivers out front. And again, hopefully we're going to be able to go for a little bit of an extended run here before it's all said and done. Those of you with us here online, we're back at it again, 4:30 for USF 2000 race number 1. Looking forward to getting those drivers on the racetrack as well. Folks, Continental Tire is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USF Pro Championships. Our cutting-edge technology and unbeatable grip will help you dominate the track. Continental Tire, where performance meets precision. Learn more at ContinentalTire.com. Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires.
Pipe Chaparro has pulled away from the pit lane. They've got a fresh nose on that car.
Good work for D-Force Racing, making quick work of that. Obviously, things shaking up here. A number of drivers falling to the tail of the field. Ozelka, Nissen, both out. Marac now out as well. The incident, turn number 1. Unsure what happened there. Arian Narola had to come in pit lane, an issue potentially for him mechanically, so I think he's out of the race.
Still here. Yeah.
I actually saw him get out of the car, so that's it for Narola. So it'll be 4 of the 20 are done. 16 still to go. D-Force kept Pipa Chaparro on the lead lap, so very likely good for him to be able to go back around. And Chaparro actually getting, I think, lucky with the fact that Marac went off.
Yep.
Otherwise, he likely could have went a lap down. So messy start for USF Juniors. I'm looking at the front wing as well, the 87 of Saravalli's that came by. There are no end plates on the wing. It is strictly the flat plane, the vertical or the horizontal plane. The
Both the end plates. End fences are gone.
Were knocked off. So, yeah, so that'll be a little interesting.
Yeah.
Not quite the downforce he was looking for up front. But nonetheless, Saravalli continues in the 14th position. But Chaparro working to catch up to the tail of the field. He'll work his way through one now. The rest of the field only coming out of turn number 2 at this point. So you'll see him pop into the screen there if you're watching at home. There it is. So we'll be able to go green this next time by, potentially. Don't know. We haven't picked up a screenshot yet of turn 1 in Merak. I don't know if they have him out or not. So field will circulate around for another lap, at least 8 laps when they come back around here. Being told green this next time by, so yeah, we're going to get ready to go back to racing here. They were able to take care of Olivier Merak. I don't know whether he might have been able to get to the tail of the field there. I wonder whether or not he's back. We'll try to pick that up when they come back around again.
Looks like he's a lap down, however, as the field went by while he was being recovered.
Not surprising. Yep. So a lap down for Olivier Merak, but they were able to drag his car out of the gravel and get him back rolling again. So here's your top 10 as we get started again here. We'll go with 8 laps in the books, 12 to go. Kennedy leads. Pashevich runs in second. Cranston third. Hugendur in fourth. Cuthbert in fifth. Vignola sixth. Medeiros in seventh. Mokaram, Cooley, and Haydu round out the top 10. Pace car working its way through the carousel. Back into pit lane. Back in the hands of Edward Kennedy, who handled the first restart well. They're essentially in the driver's meeting told the minute they get to the apex of the carousel, get on the throttle and get rolling. Through 12, through 13, back at it again. Good jump for Kennedy. Gets a nice little gap on Pashevich. Here comes the push pressure to the inside as Hugendoorn looks to the inside of Cranston. Hugendoorn put all the pressure on Bex Cranston here. Great jump. And the two front-running cars able to go all the way to the right side of the racetrack, or left side of the racetrack, rather, the racing line to dive back in to the right to the apex of turn number 2.
Hugendorn's still there on the outside. He and Cranston are locked together, man, and it looks like he finally got it done.
Yeah, you're right, John. He got it done coming out of the keyhole corner, so move Hugendorn up into third spot. Watch for some more defense down the bottom. He's going to defend to the bottom. Cranston's going to try the outside. Cranston goes all the way around the outside, book, and he goes back through. And here comes Max Cuthbert. He looks to the inside as well. There's some more side-by-side racing. Look at this. Side-by-side further back. I want to say that is Mokaram and Medeiros, I think, going at it there. Medeiros in the 97, Mokaram in the 46. That's the fight for 7th coming back down the hill. These drivers really hanging things out. Oh, so close to the outside there. You see the drivers as they're dancing the razor's edge on the exit curbing out of turn number 9. Man, did we get a lap in? Wouldn't that be lovely? Let's get the first one in here, guys. Oh, another driver dropping a wheel. John and I talked about how tough it is coming out of turn number 11 there. Blind uphill left-hand corner. You don't really know where the exit is. You get there quickly, but you can't see it when you turn up into the corner. There's your lead for Kennedy. Big stuff right now. There's a fight further back as Saravalli's going to try to get a couple of spots. Saravalli battling with his teammates Grant Mitchell, I believe Victor Couto. So Saravalli trying to get another spot.
And again, with that damaged front wing, remember.
There he is there, right in the middle of the fight. 3 Zanellis, and one of the D-Force cars, Pipe Chaparro, who again was able to get back on track with that wing change thanks to D-Force Racing. Did not lose a lap, was able to leverage the yellow. Edward Kennedy trying to win that first race, though. Good stuff for Edward Kennedy. Again, made his debut, as we said, at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. 10th, 4th, and 6th. 3 top 10 finishes in his debut. We're going to try to get a win here in race number 4. A lot of individual battles starting to come together, as we would have expected. Yeah, look at this gap for Kennedy now. Pashevich trying to grab his, what would be 4th, second-place finish of the year. And again, you think about it, the fact that Kennedy missed the first 2 rounds, he wasn't 14 yet, not really a contender in the championship. So for Pashevich running P2, the driver's gone to pit lane. That is Bex Cranston, and I'm going to expect that's likely incident responsibility, drive-through penalty for the contact with Casper Nissen. He's just got to get through here and hope for another yellow flag. So here comes the 23 as well of Olivier Marac. I don't know whether he's going to come back to the pits or did he get a drive-through as well? We'll see. I don't see him going to. Yeah, he is going to a pit stall. So issues for Marac, a lap down. But Bex Cranston back out onto the racetrack. One of the focuses of our race control and the stewards that we have, and we have two stewards in race control here this weekend, Joel Miller, Bo Barfield, and a driver that people know because he's won here before, Charlie Kimball, a former IndyCar driver. We try to get penalties done in the race.
Yeah.
So if something happens on the racetrack, instead of issuing a 30-second penalty after the race, we're able to issue the penalty mid-race because our stewards have been able to review on the cameras that we have. Well, that's the first and foremost approach. And obviously they had a chance to have a look at the contact between those two drivers, between Cranston and Nissen, and I'm almost assuming I didn't get a call yet from race control on that, but I'm expecting that was a drive-through for Bex for that contact. So Cranston's going to get the drive-through. He's going to hope for another yellow flag. Otherwise, he'll be back in 16th here. Kennedy leads. Pashevich across the line. Number 12 of Hugendorn running in the third spot. Max Cuthbert looking for his best finish of the year. Cuthbert with a fourth place finish in the final round at Homestead. Rolls in here sitting 11th place in points. It's been a pretty consistent year for Max, kind of just inside the top 10, just outside the top 10. And we get another driver off, I think, in turn number 1. At least a massive dust up coming out of the corner. So I have to believe someone potentially off in turn 1 there. You see all that dust. Waiting for potential insight from race control. We didn't really get a good look at that part of the racetrack with the cameras we have available for us here for USF Juniors.
Brendan Cooley setting fast lap of the race on the last lap. 26.9.
Up to P7 for Cooley. Not bad. Started 9th, up 2. Now all that dust, I want maybe somebody just went off and came back on the track, John. That's a possibility, but that was, man, whoever went off, they went 4 wheels off. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
So not a full course yellow finally. We're going to do some green flag running here. Here's your shot. Have a look further back here. See if that's one of the drivers in the top 10 who potentially went off track here. Oh, there you go. Indeed. Big drive off the racetrack.
And this is the exciting part when he comes back on. The grass is very uneven there because of the drive-through. So he'll do a bunch of.
And John, there's another there's nothing but the pavement there too. They have to go over the pavement first,
Correct.
right? That's why you saw the car kind of bucking a little bit coming across.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Try to figure out who fell down the order for that one when they come back around here. Medeiros down to 11th. I wonder if that might have been Medeiros who went off the track there. That's a possibility because remember Medeiros was up running, battling with Mokaram, so that might have been Cole Medeiros who went off track there.
Yeah, and that lap's a lot slower than the one before it, so I'm guessing that was it. Yeah.
Doing our best detective work.
Yeah.
Looking at lap times, looking at who drops down the order, the best we can do. So yeah, it looks like Medeiros may have went off the outside of the racetrack in turn 1, the big dust up there, but able to bring it back on in 11th position, right in front of Leonardo Serravalle. Kennedy, Pashevich, and Hugendorf still up front. Here's the field working its way through turns 4 and 5. Talk about the battles all the way through the field. And again, that's what this is about. In this program, I don't care if you're battling for 5th, for 10th, for 15th. The idea is to get a feel for that battle. These are young drivers who have worked their way out of karting up here into their first years in Formula Car racing. So get a feel for the battle. If you're further back, you're outside the top 15, don't throw it away. Understand the battle. Keep the pressure up. Try to force a mistake out of your competitor that you're racing against hard, trying to find a way by. No sense in contact when you're outside the top 15. Just get that experience of being in a dogfight.
Right.
Hugendorf just reset fast lap of the race, 126.555. He is trying to reel his way in. Last time by was a little slower than the leaders. He's he's only 9/10 of a second behind Pashevich. But Edward Kennedy nicely out to the lead here right now.
Yeah, he's got about a 1 second lead over Pashevich as well. So the top 3 about equally spaced.
Doesn't take much. You talked about the draft you can get coming out of turn number 2, the keyhole, that big long run from the keyhole through the kink of turn 3 down to turn number 4. The draft does play a big role here. You can see how he's finally closing up a bit. Pashevich getting closer, but again, the balance of the racer's mind. I want to win, but I want a championship, right? The scholarship for this category worth over $251,000 to move to USF 2000. That's what Pashevich is trying to win here this year if he comes away with the title. Kennedy's not going to be in the championship fight at all because he missed the first 2 races. He was only 13, just turned 14 for Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So how hard do you race against the driver where you know you're in second spot? You know the second driver in points, Ivan Machado Perez, is not here out of money. The budget's not there. Marak's at the tail of the field. This is another opportunity for him, Pashevich, to potentially pull away some points.
Bocarum, too. I mean, he's running 6th right now. He's 4th in the points coming into this weekend, but 2 drivers in front of him, out of the running here. So
opportunity to move up, as you said. Bocarum is only 11 points behind Perez. He could easily, potentially, even in this race, take over the second spot in the points championship. Pashevich resets fast lap 126.201. Half a second separating first and second. You can see the battle there for third and fourth as well. Hugendorf getting chased by Max Cuthbert. Then about 2 seconds back for Elias Vignola. That would easily be Vignola's best race of the year. He's currently sitting in the 6th position, going to P5. Good for these young drivers to have some of these highlights, be able to put that race in where you stayed out of trouble, where you were the smart driver around you. You kept your head while others were losing theirs, and you're able to come away with a strong finish. Top 5 would be huge for Elias Vignola. Dabbled in USF 2000 this year as well. Look at that fight further back in the tail of the field right now. Great scrap. That is, I believe, Jack Haydu, Leonardo Saravalli, and I think Grant Mitchell's in that as well. That's the fight right now for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Madeiro's back on the racetrack and a little quicker than the driver in front of him, J.W. Main, so there's an opportunity for him to potentially reel in and battle it out with Main and Kuto for the 8th spot. 14 laps down, still 6 to go in total. When they come back around, it'll be 5 laps remaining. Kennedy's not done yet. Pashevich trying to close back up on him. This time, very similar lap times, but only a half a second separate first and second. Medeiros in the 97 most definitely closing up here on J.W. Main. Another 10th last time by. He's only 4 tenths back. So again, the question for Pashevich is, do I risk it? I know Kennedy wants that first race win. He's going to race me hard for it. But, you don't want to have the reputation of being the guy that brings it home in second. But if you can win a championship, my goodness, it's the scales back and forth, right? Of do I take the win? Do I take second? Do I risk it all?
Well, Pashevich has either finished second in 3 races at Homestead or won 3 races at Canadian Tire. So he's, he can flip a coin here, and he's right on the tail of him. I mean, it's getting closer. I think Pashevich might be the guy with the pace at the end of this race, as we've got 5 laps to go in 12 minutes. So if we stay green, touch wood, we should be able to get all the laps in.
Bex Cranston just turned his fast lap. In fact, the fastest lap on the racetrack, 126.1. He's back in 16th after the drive-through penalty, after the contact between he and Casper Nissen. So indeed, you think about, John talked about the success that Pashevich had at Homestead with 3 second-place finishes. He swept the weekend in terms of race wins at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, but he had a disastrous Carolina Motorsports Park in Kershaw in April, where he was started on the outside of the front row, got taken out in the first 2 races, fell back in race 3 and fought himself back forward, not even quite to the top 10. Watching Cole Medeiros have a look to the inside at turn 1 on J.W. Main. They're going to go side by side through that corner. Man, oh man. But yeah, I think it's the issues with other drivers that have allowed Pashevich still to hold on to the lead despite having 2 finishes at the very tail of the field. There's that fight there I'm talking about. Oh, big wide run there through turn number 2 for Medeiros. That had a lot of entry oversteer. He had to put a big wheel into it to hold it down. He really wants to get, and he knows with the laps winding down, he needs to get by J.W. Main if he has a chance of closing up to Victor Kudo for P8. We'll watch for that battle a little further back here. Here's your leaders coming down through turn number 6 again. Kennedy leads. They're using all of that curb on the inside of turn number 6 to get that thing to rotate around. Here's that battle here. I think he's by. Yeah, indeed. Cole Medeiros is by. He's been able to get through in turn number 4 and 5. Move Cole Medeiros back up into the 9th spot. Still a great top 10 run for J.W. Main, who started back in 19th. It'd be solid for him to hold on to P10. It looks like he's got lots of room too, John. I think it's behind that battle. It's 2.5 seconds to Grant Mitchell, and that's that Mitchell-Haydu battle a little further back. So front 4, 5, 6 drivers kind of settling apart. We'll see if Medeiros has anything to potentially reel up on Kudo. We'll look at lap times.
Pashevich just set fast lap of the race. He's got it down under half a second to Kennedy.
Yeah, and he was quicker by about a 10th. 3 laps still to go. Medeiros lost a lot on that lap. He's 2.4 seconds behind Kuto. Yeah, better for Medeiros just to bring it home right now, 3 laps. He'd have to be, 0.8 of a second a lap quicker to be able to close up, and that's not going to happen. Kudo pretty quick at 1:26.6. Kennedy, Pashevich, and Hugendorn, all 3 of those drivers up front turning their fastest laps of the race on that last lap. Cuthbert's still there. He lost a little bit, but he's only a half a second behind Hugendorn, so we're not done there yet either. Cranston trying to close up on Matty Colleran back to see if he can't get one more spot here before it's all said and done. Remember, Cranston, 9th place in points coming in. Looking for a big weekend to build momentum, right? To go to Lime Rock Park next weekend, his home track. So he'll be looking forward to doing that tomorrow morning. I think he had a good run. Cranston was a fast driver on the track at one point, was probably fighting for 3rd and 4th, would have been a top 5. But that contact between he and Nissan, the race control having a good look at that and deemed it incident responsibility for Cranston. Drive-through penalty. 2 laps to go. Our first of 7 races here. 2 laps remaining. USF 2000 back on the racetrack here as well. They'll cap off the day with a race at 4:30. That green flag set to go at 4:45. I'll start driver introductions at 5:05. Pardon me, that's tomorrow. It's 4:35 for that. USF 2000. Driver into pit lane here, the number 18, Jack Haydu.
Damaged front wing.
Oh, was having such a great run there as well. Looks like some dust on that car as well. So he was in the middle of a fight, went off the racetrack. So do we have a fight at the end here? Pashevich, last time by, a couple hundredths quicker. It's still 0.4 of a second. Gonna pick up the leaders here. There they are coming through turn number 9. Such a treacherous corner.
And Hugendorn has gotten away from Cuthbert, and he might be a factor in this battle too.
A little bit of breathing room for Hugendorn. How quick was he last time by? Lost a 10th on lap number 18. White flag will fly this time by Edward Kennedy, looking to try to see if he can't become our 5th different winner on the season here in USF Juniors. Wins already for Pashevich, Machado Perez, Mokaram, and Medeiros. Final lap. Last time by, Pashevich had an issue. He dropped down to a 26.2. It's now 0.7 of a second. Kennedy looking to bring it home. Pashevich, very smart run here. Let's be real.
Yep.
A 2nd place finisher, knowing the drivers around him, knowing that Kennedy not in the fight but wants to win. Stack those points up for a driver trying to win a championship for a single car team. Olivia Racing looking to prove their mettle here in USF Juniors. Like I've said a couple times this weekend and today already, 2 open cars at Olivia Racing. If you're looking to go racing here, that's a car that can win. We know that. Final circuit for USF Juniors. Man, 5th different winner on the season potentially here for Edward Kennedy, the young driver out of Mont-Tremblant, Quebec, Canada. Still, you got to negotiate the last lap. You got to be through clean and green through turn number 9. Keep it on the racetrack, as does Hugendorn. It would be the first podium for Hugendorn as well. Many podiums in karting for Hugendorn. Going to have one here in USF Juniors if he can bring it home. Final run through turn number 12 and 13. 5th different winner on the season for VRD Racing. Edward Kennedy, the Canadian, winning at Mid-Ohio. Race number 1 for USF Juniors. Double checker from Aaron Likens at start-finish. Great run for Edward Kennedy, winning by almost a full second. He sets the fast lap of the race at the very end of the race. Bonus point there as well. Led the most laps, obviously. Green to checker. Karel Pashevich coming home in 2nd to extend that point lead. Dean Hugendorn, his first podium in 3rd. Max Cuthbert 4th. Elias Vignola Rounding out the top 5, great run for Elias, his best career run as well. Maximo Karam in 6th. Brendan Cooley 7th. Cole Madero able to get by J.W. Main. He ends up in the 8th spot. Great finish for J.W. Main as well. And Grant Mitchell rounding out the top 10. A lot of chaos on that one. Issues, of course, as we know, for Jared Ozelka early on. Casper Nissen with the contact with Bex Cranston. Narola, an issue with the machine itself. Marakov in turn 1. Haydu, an issue on the penultimate lap. Looks like Victor Couto working his way back up to 15th. They had to change the front wing. He lost a lap, but great job there for Victor Couto as well. Exciting way to get things underway and a brand new winner, 5th on the season, John.
And Matty Coloran comes home on the lead lap, finishing 14th. It's a good drive for the local driver. Bob's going to make his way down to the podium to interview our top 3 finishers. See a big queue of people lined up for the IndyCar autograph session going on as we speak in the fan zone. So still plenty of time as that's going to go on for another 25 minutes. So once again, IndyCar autograph session going on as we speak in the fan zone at the American Legion display. Here's your top 10, unofficially, of course. Edward Kennedy taking the win. Pishevich taking a 2nd spot. Hugendorn in 3rd. Max Cuthbert, a valiant drive, into 4th. Vignola finishing in the 5th spot. Maximo Karam comes home 6th. Brandon Cooley 7th. Cole Medeiros in the 8th spot. J.W. Main and Grant Mitchell rounding out the top 10. Pipe Chaparro taking the 11th spot. Leonardo Saravalli with that damaged front wing was able to salvage a 12th place finish. Bex Cranston, after his drive-through penalty, still finishing in 13th. Matty Coloran, the last car on the lead lap, in 14th spot. As you can see, our winner, Edward Kennedy, taking his first win on the season, coming into the victory lane. Not bad for his 4th race ever in the USF Juniors Championship. Debuted in the last race weekend at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And here's Edward Kennedy coming out of the car to celebrate, as well he should. His first victory, and the first of many, I think, for the young driver out of Mont Tremblant. Rob Howden is down in victory circle. Rob, take it away.
John, thank you so much. Get ready to get things underway with our first podium of 7 on the weekend here for the drivers in the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. A fantastic run for the drivers in USF Juniors once they settled down and got into the battle. Finishing in third spot today, folks, for VRD Racing, Dean Hugendorn. Dean, let's have a quick chat here. Grab your trophy first and foremost. Stay right here. Stay down here with me. You were challenged big time by Max Cuthbert behind you. A lot of action there. Just give me your thoughts on the race here. How was the track, and how are you in a very hot race?
Yeah, obviously the race was super hot. Pace was definitely there compared to quali as well. Now, again, on new tires, the race was really good. You know, we were catching Eddie and Pasovic in the race. You know, small mistakes made us lose out to the front. But I think I'm quite happy with, you know, what we achieved in this race and from before. So I'm definitely really happy.
Congrats on your first podium. Well done.
Thank you.
Dean Hugendorn, folks, coming up in third. Hop up, hop. Let's get a driver in second spot. Your point leader, Karol Pashevich. Karol, grab your trophy here first. We'll have a quick chat. So I was wondering whether or not you were going to try for the lead. You set the fast lap at one point. Were you thinking maybe championship a little bit there, or do you think you had enough to go after Edward?
No, I mean, he was really quick from the beginning. I did some mistakes at the beginning as well. That's why he pulled away. A little bit tricky restart. And lost all my pace in the middle of the race again, and I had to keep calm and try to catch him. It was a really difficult race. I would like to thank Olivia for putting up the best car on the paddock. And I was playing for the championships and not for the win, you know. Now that Ivan is not here, I have a bit of the room to breathe.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
7th podium, folks, for this driver here, your point leader. But 5 winners on the season, a new one here. We'd love to give a round of applause for the guys that win their first race. How about a big one for this driver here for VRD Racing, Edward Kennedy? Edward, grab your trophy here. Hop on down here for me. I'm not that tall. Thank you. We talked about it before you came up here. It was the move on the start, around the outside. What a fantastic move. Can you walk me through it a little bit? What were your thought process?
Well, I thought I really had nothing to lose for third because usually a leader gets a gap after turn 1, and I decided to go to the outside in turn 2. Everyone's on the inside, so I knew someone was going to bunch up. So I just sent it to around the outside, and I was second place. It was really good, and at the end of straight, I did the same thing. But we had amazing pace the whole race. A bit like the last lap was great, and I would like to thank VRD Racing.
Your last lap was your fastest of the whole race, so obviously the car got better and better. Can you just tell me emotionally what it feels to win here? You've won karting events, you've won Canadian National Championships, but you're a winner in USF Juniors right now. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. It's so lucky to be here. I'm so lucky to win.
Congratulations. Get up on top of the podium, folks. One more time, a round of applause. A fantastic job there. Edward Kennedy around the outside at turn number 2 in the keyhole, able to get the pass done down in turn number 4. And he is our 5th different winner here in the program this year. Excellent job for him. Awesome drive for Karol Pashevich as he will extend his point lead as well after his 4th second-place finish of the year. He's had 7 podiums, 4 second-place finishes, 3 wins for Pashevich as we head to Lime Rock Park next week, but not before we're back on the racetrack at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning for race number 2. And last but not least, Dean Hugendorn doing a tremendous job. We know the champagne waiting in the wings. We'll make sure we push the car of Edward Kennedy away first before we hose it down. We'll make sure these drivers get themselves hydrated. You can see how much that took out of them. 20 laps around this racetrack in temperatures in the low 90s right now. A challenge for them for sure. We'll get the champagne in here as well to cap things off. We'll get these drivers hydrated, as we said. Those of you around the racetrack, please stay hydrated. Make sure you're sipping water as much as you possibly can. It is going to be a warm one for sure. We'll give these drivers the opportunity to celebrate their successes here today. Edward Kennedy, his first win here in USF Juniors, is only his 4th start. A great run to go around the outside of Karol Pashevich on the opening laps. Dean Hugendorn, his first podium as well. Guys, grip it and rip it. Grab your champagne, go to work. They're not waiting at all. I guess they're going to wash these suits overnight, potentially. Yeah, Pashevich realizes he doesn't want a dirty suit. That wraps things up here, folks. Again, more racing to come. USF 2000 still will have their opening race here before we wrap up the day. Indy next, and IndyCar action coming up here for you as well. But a great way to start things off with the future stars of IndyCar, the first rung of the USF Pro Championships. USF Juniors, and a first-time winner, Edward Kennedy for VRD Racing, coming away with the win. The young Canadian impressive in his fourth start here in the program. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. It was a long broadcast for sure. All the qualifying, all the way through, of course, to the races as well. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Don't go away. We'll be back again. I think it's 4:45 this afternoon for another race, USF 2000. We'll get things underway. On behalf of Anderson Promotion, folks, and Continental Tire, thanks for tuning in. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.